Hello and welcome into my latest live broadcast. My name is Carey Holzman. This right here, this guy
is Mitch Morrison.
Mitch, the man, the legend, Morrison. Any relation to
Jim Morrison? I
Doors?
I get that a lot.
Well, you're doing Windows, so it's not too far removed from Doors.
Right. So no.
That Morrison did Doors. This Morrison does Windows.
Yeah. Or John Wayne, because his name was Marion Michael Morrison. So they're like, is he a distant cousin? I'm like,
his name was Marion?
Marion.
I want to just beat his butt for having the name Marion. What a little sissy nerd he was.
Yeah. So how's everybody doing on this Friday? Did your boss give you the day off? I'm representing here with the 4th coming up on Sunday, right? Sunday fun day.
Sunday's fun day?
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure today that only subscribers are going to be allowed to participate in our chat room to see if that helps resolve some of the potential issues that have already started in the chat. But rather than focus on those people, let's focus on the other 99% that are great people.
Yeah.
And you'll recognize them as being great because their names are in blue. And all that shows is that they've been a regular contributor here. And by contributor, I don't always mean strictly financially, but also through contributions of dialogue, by participating in a friendly and supportive manner in the chat room, and by appearing normally in the chat room on a regular basis where they start to become familiar and identify them as part of the Blue Army or the Squirrel Squad. What do you think of that?
I like
Carey Squirrel Squad.
Yeah, I like it.
Nutty approved.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to prep a motherboard
Okay.
for another 8-year build using the B460 HD3, which I was able to get off of Amazon. I'm pointing at it like they can see it. Which I was able to get off Amazon warehouse. Somebody returned it. I'm like, whatever moron returned this board didn't realize what a piece of gold they were holding on to right now. So not only did they return it, I got a discount on something that's rarer than hen's teeth. Is that the expression?
That's the expression.
So, and let me give a shout out to the people who have already contributed prior to us even beginning today.
Oh.
I mean, some generous contributions. That's a heck of a way to start the show. First and foremost, our good friend Peter Laycock, who joins us from Bonnie, Scotland, has contributed £50. He says, "Good evening, Carey and Mitch, and everyone in the chat room from Bonnie, Scotland." Hey, Peter, good to see you, my friend. Glad to see you. And followed by Tony Wallow, not to be outdone, with a $99.99 super chat and sent me a $200 Amazon gift card. Like, holy cow. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much for
We'd love to make you the man, but as you know, there's only one man.
Well, that's of course Michael Dane is the man.
He's the man, so.
However, speaking of which, there's Michael Dane in the chat. And there was a contribution from Chevy for $1. And I see Luke Greenia. Still got to get Luke's PC done. He is chomping at the bit to get that one right over there. It's got his name on it. And that one over there is for Ryan. Well, those will be the next 2 that go out for viewers.
Okay.
Then I'll do one for Tony. I'll do one for Mortmont. Who am I forgetting? Forgetting somebody. There's a 3rd one. And then I still have about 3 or 4 more to select. And I'm just picking the people who contribute the most to get those machines. And then I've got 3 more veteran giveaway computers. And then I'll get through the rest of those.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of work ahead of me. Chris Garrett says hello, Carey. And there's Mats Olaf Rickardson. Hey, Mats Olaf. And Darren Belmore saying hello. Craig Lilly. Proud Patriot says hi to Carey and Mitch. It's great to see another board prep. I enjoy them. Hey, get over here and do it then. Ron Barnish and Scotty, as well as Robert Fitzpatrick, Russell Starr, Chris L. Greg, and Nicholas Guerrero. Florin Gruya, Terrell Cockerham, Mike Ladd, Arto Racinen. I'm sure I'm pronouncing some of those names half right. Dorado Systems, David Reed. Welcome in, guys. Thanks you guys so much for hanging out. I can't shout everybody's name out, obviously. We'll be here all day. But hang in there long enough, you'll always get your shout out in time. And look what I see. Do you see that? Speaking of the man?
The man, yeah.
What do we got there?
$20 from the man, Michael Dane, on this Freaky Friday. All right.
He says, I just want to let you know I'm running Windows 11. So the current, now you can officially download the beta test of Windows 11, but you've got to be on the Windows Insider, which is you go to Windows Update, so you want to be on Windows. And they've removed the TPM requirement and the processor requirement because they wanted 8th gen or newer. And Microsoft fully intends to re-enable that. But for right now, no TPM requirement. If you've downloaded a copy illegally, then that one still has the TPM requirement. But if you download it the right way from Microsoft and get the actual beta release, the TPM requirement is not there. So if you're having some difficulty, like, first of all, I want to thank all of you with nothing else better to do than to potentially break your machine and frustrate yourself beyond compare, so that the rest of us can wait 6 months after the product is released. And then as you're lying on the ground with arrows in your back for being the pioneers you are and suffering through all the problems, 6 months after it's released, guys like us and the regular folks can safely download it without any of the problems, thanks to the sacrifices you guys make for free. Microsoft doesn't even pay you, and yet you will spend money for TPM modules, and you'll spend money and trouble to potentially get yourself in legal issues by getting the software illegally. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking the arrows for us. It's people like you that help Microsoft make more money. And Microsoft, now let me say it on behalf of Microsoft, wants to thank you for donating your labor and time and resources and computer to help them make a better product, so that guys like us and the rest of the world out there can benefit from your inconvenience and labor. Now, is it a little satirical? Yeah, it's a little satirical, but the bottom line is some people really enjoy that. And the benefit is to the rest of us that they do enjoy that, and that they are willing to spend their valuable time and money to test out something that's not done yet, point out any problems, and then when it is released, there's going to be more problems. Those problems will be addressed. So usually it's about 6 months to a year anytime something new has come out. Same with the Ryzen chip. It's hardware and software, anything that's new. Although ultimately this Windows 11 is just a feature update to Windows 10. It's a marketing ploy. But regardless of that, if anybody does learn that Windows 11 can do something that Windows 10 can't, please let me know. As far as I know, it's all the same. It's just different different lipstick on the pig.
Looks like Mac. Ooh. OS.
Well, it's always looked like. I mean, that's another contribution. James Orico contributes $5. Hey, James, thank you. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for, these contributions help keep us from having to go to a membership only. One of the problems I was having were chat room disruptors, but by turning on subscribers only, it really.
Didn't that just come out about a week ago? YouTube.
I just got made aware of it a week ago, but it is new. I can't tell you specifically how new, but it does really seem to help.
Yeah.
And at least if they want to harass me, they can subscribe to me, so there's more benefit to me besides their view. Anything I can do, like if anybody's got any criticism and it's coming with a check that I get to cash, the criticism's welcome. But if the criticism's coming from somebody who just takes and complains, I want them wiped out. I want them silenced. And this helps in that manner, along with monitoring all the comments, that all comments have to be approved. And it removes all the negative, toxic people and discourages them. Well, it bans them. So,
right.
Yeah, there's a delusion of how much power some people think they have, or they think their approval is required for something they didn't pay for or finance. So this really helps with that and keeps me away from that whole membership thing.
Yeah.
That's my goal. My goal, however, still might have to go to membership, but we'll see. Your contributions, like I said, they're very appreciated. It all goes towards the channel so we can continue to do these as often as we do them.
And I appreciate it because Carey doesn't know I have quite a gambling habit. So,
what you do with your money is your business.
Okay.
I don't want to know. I have a Coca-Cola habit. Terrell Cochran contributes $5. Says Windows 11 will be big, little, aware. What does that mean? For the new Intel chips. I don't know what that means. Rick Lakes contributes $20.
Hey, Rick.
Says hello, Carey and Mitch. Welcome in, Rick. Thank you again. Thanks, Terrell. Thanks, Rick, for your contributions. All right.
All right.
David Herzog says, no complaints here. Well, then you should be blue.
Just based on that. Simple as that.
All right, friends.
Later, squirrely, nutty, go take it. Yeah,
What'd you call me?
Nutty, go take a nap. Bye-bye.
You want to go? You want to go?
Yes, I do.
Let's see. Let's bring up the live feed here. We got 300 people watching live. Welcome in, everybody. It's
Okay, I have a quick technical thing for both Uncle Carey and Chad. I use Google Chrome as my web browser. And maybe if I'm watching YouTube, say after an hour, it could be 2 hours, you never know, but I get suddenly that white circle spinning of death. And then in the upper left,
well, it's not a spinning circle of death.
It's like,
that's not a thing.
oh, okay. And then it says, of course, Google Chrome not responding. And the only way to shut that down is to then Control-Alt-Delete Task Manager. Is it that I should reinstall Chrome again, and that might help, or what is it? But because I gotta be honest, it's annoying. You know, I'm right in the middle of something, and I'm like, ugh, and then I gotta, Alt Delete Task Manager, do it, and then of course, then when you redo it, it says, do you want to restore where you left off? Of course, yes, but it's happening, and it bothers me, whereas it used to not. So, Chad, Uncle Carey, help me. It's just a small annoyance. Again, it's not life critical, but it bothers me. And what am I doing wrong? Is it software? Is it a piece of hardware? And it's my main build, not the little one, the birthday build, but the black one that we did a couple of years ago. I mean, everything's,
This is a problem people don't consider when they have multiple computers or they want to put 2 motherboards in one case. They don't realize all the ongoing maintenance doubles and triples with the amount of computers that you have, and then the potential for problems. So what this sounds like to me, if I had to guess, is that you need to clear out all your cache. I don't know if you've done that, but you go to your settings, see up here where it says settings, and then you're going to go down here on Chrome. It says privacy and security, and then it says clear browsing data. When you click on clear browsing data, it'll say for the last hour. Like, that's the dumbest default I've ever seen. You got to select all time.
But let me ask
I want to clear all time. Now, if you want to keep cookies, uncheck the box for cookies, then it'll remember you. But if you have RoboForm, who cares if you have to re-enter name and password?
But let me ask you this. By doing that, then it is wiped out. In other words, I like where with YouTube, I just type Y and it comes right up in the address bar. So you don't, or CNN, and then it finishes it.
Yeah, but what sucks at the same time is when you mistype it, it keeps coming up as the default.
Well, then
now you have to keep selecting it differently, or
you can go in and remove that too.
Well, the bottom line is,
so help me.
My recommendation is that's not a big deal. Okay. Because if you wipe out the autofill, it's going to rebuild itself. You're only going to type in youtube.com one time, and it'll autofill it. Just type it right, or it's going to autofill it wrong every time.
Okay.
I think on one of the checkboxes you can keep the autofill, but I recommend clearing it.
Mitch, maybe you need to install a new BIOS. Well, the beauty of that build, the black one, is Carey put a motherboard in there where I did the escape, and you can do it via a thumb drive or the web.
Yeah, it's got the internet update.
So the internet. So that's a possibility. That
doesn't sound like a possibility to me. But BIOS updates generally don't result in the behavior you're explaining. Right. BIOS updates generally can affect performance overall. Yeah. BIOS updates can affect compatibility with RAM and chips, newer chips that come out. Sometimes security issues. Sometimes so basically security, performance, compatibility. Those are your 3 things. What you're describing is just specific to Google Chrome. Just specific to Google Chrome. And the most common reason why people call me with this problem is what? I've already explained this numerous times. I made a video saying the most calls I get in 2020 or 2021 are browser extensions that are causing problems. People have installed browser extensions like YouTube ad blockers or HTML autoplay off, and then they break certain sites. You've got to if you go to Google Chrome and you go to settings, after you clear your browser history, on the left side towards the bottom, on the far left, it says extensions. Look through these extensions. You're going to have RoboForm in there. Leave it, right? Google Docs will probably be in there. That's fine.
Gmail. I kind of like it.
Gmail's fine, no problem. What we're looking for are things like AdBlock Plus,
Skipper.
anything that's an ad blocker.
Okay.
Here's the beauty of it. If you take it out, just hit the remove button, take out all these third-party extensions. If nothing changes, you could put them back on. They're free,
Right.
right?
So.
But if it does fix it,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? And if you've got 3 or 4, take all 3 or 4 out.
Okay.
And if it fixes it, then if you want to start putting them back in one by one and test them again,
Okay.
till you find the culprit.
Right.
But it's probably a browser extension or a filled up cache.
So you don't think I need to uninstall Chrome and then reinstall a fresh?
Sometimes that's necessary, but it's not common.
Okay.
But I've certainly had where a customer's Chrome wouldn't open.
Oh.
And you'd restart the computer and you'd clear the cache, you do all this stuff, and it just won't open. And the only way you can clear the cache on that is you got to use a program like CCleaner, because obviously if you can't open it, right? But then it still didn't open, so I go to apps in the control panel, find Chrome, uninstall, reboot, download Chrome as if you were doing it for the very first time. That customer hasn't called me with another problem since.
Okay. I'd rather try the first thing first than.
I always recommend trying the first thing first, because trying the first thing second doesn't make it the first thing anymore. That makes it the second thing.
And check to see if Mitch's mic is turned on.
It doesn't look like, well, wait a minute. Are you on mute? No?
No.
Am I on mute?
Check.
Let's see.
Am I coming through 5x5 or do I need to move?
Let me
the
turn
mic?
mine on mute. Let's make sure you're.
Do I need to move the mic? Check. 1, 2.
No, go ahead and put yours on mute. Let's make sure mine's on. Check 1, 2. Yeah, we're both good. Oh, you know what? Your mic is upside down, Mitch.
Oh, story of my life. Okay. There.
You know, actors have people do this for them.
Right. I don't.
They dress them,
Yeah.
they do their hair.
Oh, with good news, I haven't told Uncle Carey and Chat. I got another acting job again. As important.
Other than pretending to be my friend.
Yeah,
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah. It's doesn't have any dialogue, but I get hit by a car. What do you think of that? So and
What's
no
that pay?
No.
I just,
right. So
I just want to know,
Yeah.
how much will you charge me if I can hit you with my car?
Right.
Are you your own stuntman in this?
No. No. So it's through editing or whatever. It'll look like I get hit.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Mustang. It's a
Sweet.
1980.
I happen to have a Mustang. Do you want to practice?
It's a 1980.
Are you ready for
Mustang.
rehearsal?
No. But again, it's
So what's this for?
yeah.
Certainly not an
actually-
ad for Mustangs. I'm gonna
Actually, a guy has written a novel, and he just wants kind of a trailer
guess.
for the novel.
What's that called? Sizzle reel.
Yeah, for the novel, and then at the end it'll say novel coming out September of 2021. So I would imagine it'll be about a 60-second clip or whatever.
And you'll be
but,
on screen for what?
maybe 10 seconds. Or
And
something
how long
like
will you
that.
have to, like, you'll have to get up,
Yeah.
get dressed, drive
Yeah.
to the location,
Right.
wait until they're ready for you.
Right.
Is that an all day thing?
Probably. Plus, I'm the days that I'm not on camera, I'm part of the crew, so I crew on those days.
Oh,
for
well,
them
that's
as well.
good. So
So,
you have something to do.
yeah, so-
a lot of times acting, you're just waiting, and you're waiting,
Yeah.
and you're waiting. But
Yeah.
and then you get to add to your resume.
Yeah.
Hit by car.
Right.
Hey, everything counts.
Yep.
What do they call that? A curriculum vitae? A resume.
Yeah. Resume.
Anyway, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So that's something your agent did?
No,
Or is
in
that-
about 2 weeks, the guy that did a drift that I was in
Yeah.
and isolation got approached by this man who wrote
Oh,
the
nice.
book and said, look, I've got some of a budget and so clearly because I'm going to be in a black suit and a briefcase, I went.
You should be using a crosswalk. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
yeah. I'm in a crosswalk when he hits me,
Oh, but you're in Phoenix.
but I'm not going to lay on the ground in a new suit. So I went out to Savers and I bought some suits.
It's nothing dry cleaning
Some
can't
u- yeah,
fix. What are you
some
worried about?
used suits, and so I'm like, he's like, that's fine, yeah, because I'm like, after I'm hit, you gotta photograph me laying on the ground. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, well then, yeah, I'm not wearing any of my good suits. He's like, nah,
I don't have that problem. I don't have any
suits.
birthday suit, but that's
So yeah,
that's a whole different
Yeah.
website.
yeah.
Let's see, what were we talking about in the chat room? People say, "Hey, good job, Mitch. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. Good on you."
Yep. And I like crewing because, again,
What do you
as,
do for the
as
crew?
an
Are you
actor,
moving lights? Or
moving lights and
Cables?
bringing lenses out of the lens case to them, take the one off, gently put it back in the lens case. Yeah, moving lights.
Mitch, they say you sound a lot better now with the microphone pointing.
Oh,
away.
pointing up. And on talks stuff, he has me boom because I seem to be the tallest guy,
Ah,
with the boom.
Yeah.
When we're booming, he prefers lavs like us. He's got very, like Carey used to wear, these tiny little ones that you can hide,
countryman,
in
yeah.
shirts and whatever. And for walk and talk, that's much better than trying to follow
usually they do
along
both
with a
too
boom.
in case it's
So,
lost on
right.
you. It's like a backup.
So, but I like it. I wish it wasn't, 112 out there in the heat, but I'll do it because, again, I have big hopes for this kid. He's 40 years old, who's a director and
Hey,
a
that's
cinematographer, and he's got his own Cinema Red camera, which is what real features are shot with, Cinema Red. So.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where the lens is sold separate. Everything's
Oh,
sold separate
yeah,
on those.
yeah.
So the camera body's like $12,000. The
Yeah.
lens is another 10 or 15.
We'll
and
have
then
to-
you have multiple lenses probably.
We'll have to, because everything, the body is black and everything, and in this sun blazing, so we'll have to have some sort of umbrella that kind of covers
Sure.
the body of it, because if you have the sun there, it does have a fan, but, this sun, so.
It'll overheat it.
Little overheated, and so, but it's fun. Again, any little chance I get to be an actor, I like
Acting?
acting.
Terrell Cockrum contributes $5. Says Big Little Intel Alder Lake will arrive with 8 golden cores and 8 Gracemont Atom cores.
Ah,
Yeah, all those industry terms, I lost track of those back around Batman and Robin. That was the name of Intel's last series of motherboards they created outside of like the NUC. Intel used to make motherboards, and it was back in the 90s. Batman and Robin, I think, were like the last series of motherboards Intel made. And those were good, practically indestructible motherboards. What a shame they don't, again, outside of the NUC, Intel doesn't make boards anymore. But man, Intel made good boards. And then, of course, they have industry terms for all the chips that eventually get named with i7, i5, right? They have their generational names. AMD does the same thing. And then Windows has their generational names, like Sun Valley, blah, 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 blah. It's information overload. And because I'm not an engineer and I'm not working for it, I don't really care. Like I read it, it goes in one ear. And, well, I guess if I read it, it doesn't go in my ear. But maybe if I read it out loud. Anyway, interesting. We'll see what happens. Microsoft, Intel rather, was supposed to release something with that, was it this 10 nanometer or 7 nanometer? Even that's another one that keeps changing. And then it got pushed back and delayed. So all this talk of what's coming is all speculatory. It's, yes, it's probably going to happen, or there's a chance that it won't. And until something actually is for sale to the public, I don't really have much desire to discuss what might be. Seems like a complete waste of time. I like to discuss what is.
okay.
All right, now let's see. Brian says, congratulations, soon to be a Nana Granny McFarland. Must be talking to Sherry? I'm sure Brian is a moderator in here. David Martinez says, that's amazing, Mitch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's Sherry McFarland. Thanks. I have another grandbaby coming this month, too. Well, something to do during the pandemic, I guess.
Yep.
Congratulations. You get the spoiled grandchildren, get them all hyped up on sugar, and then give them back to their parents just for revenge.
Yeah.
Don Dixon says, hey, Carey and Mitch, it's even hotter up here. We got some rain last night.
A little, yeah. Didn't cool it off as much as we would like, but
It got down to the mid-80s.
yeah, for this,
And I mean, it poured and then it just stopped. And then it poured again. Thunder,
yeah.
crashing, lightning. It was like major. Just wish it happened during the daytime. When it's
Yeah.
hot. But at least it knocks all the dust out of the air.
Yep.
And there I am trying to clean the pool, and we're right back to turning green again.
Yeah.
The Dude Abide says, I'm looking forward to the Quantum Foam Lake Intel chip. Only works if you observe it. That's the Schrodinger's cat chip, I believe.
Okay.
All right, so we just going to talk or are we going to work?
We're going to work.
Oh, never mind, I'm out of here.
We showed them the motherboard. Let's show them the processor that we shall be using.
Yeah, I was putting together a system for one of my clients, and I've got a few chips laying around, and I grabbed that one,
Okay.
and I went to put it in the socket, and I didn't realize I grabbed a 10th gen. I was trying to build. I have an H370 HD3 build. I got to do 2 of them.
Okay.
And I grabbed that chip, and it wouldn't go in the socket. And I'm like, why is this not going in the socket? And they went, oh, I need a 9th gen chip. That's a 10. So that box has been opened already.
Okay.
That's why I ended up. I was glad I wasn't live filming that because it'd be like, oh, there's something else we can make fun of Carey for.
And then for storage,
Intel 665P, that's the staple. I ordered a bunch of those when they were on sale. I'm actually getting low. I think I'm down to about 5 of those now. It's 1 terabyte, which I think is perfect for most business users and home users, at least the ones that call me for help.
And for RAM, what have we got here? 32 or
It's
60?
just 16 gigs
16?
of RAM. I do have a 32 and a 64 gig kit, but I haven't yet decided. So for now, we're just going to place 16 in this. And the reason why is if you want to build the 8-year build, this is the modern version of the 8-year build. If you want to substitute that i7 for an 11th gen i5, like an 11600, it's practically imperceptible to most people. You'd use the same board. Good luck finding this board, but any B460 or B365 board made by any manufacturer is probably going to be okay, just depending if it's got all the features you want it. We're using onboard video because of the graphics card shortage, but also because none of my customers would even want a graphics card anyway. They're doing work. Or home users, they're just paying bills and doing email and stuff. So you can support multiple monitors, all that stuff. It's just for gaming, high-end first-person shooter, frame rates, that a graphics card is a discrete graphics card or a separate graphics card needs to be added in that scenario. Gaming is a luxury. What we're doing here is work. I don't consider work a luxury. Work is a necessity to survive. Gaming is not a necessity to survive. So you'll forgive me if I don't take it with much seriousness.
And for Mitch, who's retired, work is a 4-letter word. Remember that. And this chat is DDR4, very short eyeball.
I work in mid,
Okay,
and
yeah.
work is still a 4-letter word.
DDR4 3200.
Yeah,
Which
I
is-
bought it because it
which is-
was cheap, and it's got a nice little heat spreader on it, so you don't have to worry about
That's a
anti-static
trick. Yeah.
or static shock.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been good RAM. I've been using this on a number of builds. I also like Corsair Vengeance, but Team. The only thing I don't like about Team is when I have to do an RMA. It seems like I tried to contact them once, and they didn't seem to know what they were doing, and I ended up just sending the RAM back to Newegg or Amazon, and they just replaced it rather than deal with these people. But the RAM is so cheap. My feeling is if I have a problem with it, I'll throw it away, or I'll stick it on a shelf to one day when I'm in the mood to deal with these people. But that's the price I'm paying for the price I'm saving. Right? If I bought Corsair, I'd spend a little more money, but in the unlikely event I would have a RAM problem, regardless of who makes it, if it's Team or Corsair, it's still unlikely to happen. But if it does happen with Corsair, I know the customer service is there. And I know if it happens with Team, the customer service, at least in my limited experience, was not there. And because it's a lifetime memory on both Corsair or Team and most RAM manufacturers, I would probably put it up on a shelf and say, I'll deal with this when I'm in the mood. That's probably, I wouldn't throw it away.
And to cool our CPU, what have we got here?
That's my new favorite cooler, the Chromax Noctua UH, what is it? NH, I can't read it. NH-U12S. I've used these on a number of occasions. A little pricey at $80, but I gotta be honest, it's reasonable. I think $80 can get you a nice high-end tower cooler or a nice low-end all-in-one cooler. And the tower cooler is easier to install, less cable management, and it'll last forever. Liquid cooler, more cable management, more difficult to install, may not fit in all cases.
And it will fail eventually.
And
will
the pump will die
It will
at some
die,
point,
yeah.
or the fluid inside will gum up or
Yep.
deteriorate. So this is more of a long-term set it, forget it. This is why this is an 8-year build. If I put a liquid cooler in this, it would no longer be an 8-year build. It'd be more of a 4 to 6 year build with maintenance required to extend it.
Yeah.
So when I say this is an 8-year build, I'm saying you don't have to touch anything on this for 8 years. You button it up and you're done. This is not for people who like to, well, let me rephrase. If you're the kind of person that likes to take things apart and upgrade it and change it, this is still fine for you. But if you're one of those people that's like, look, I got other things going on in my life. Computers aren't my life. I'm sick and tired of buying a new computer, going through the hassle of setting it all up. I just want one that's going to last a long time. This is what you want. You will not find anything else better for your money than this combination of parts. Try it. Prove me wrong. You won't find anything pre-built that compares to this with the amount of RAM, storage, type of processor, type of cooler, and the type of case, and the type of power supply, and all the versatility and ability to, where everything's modular. Anybody can work on it. If you don't want to work on it, just hire somebody. With these pre-builts, oftentimes they can't be worked on outside of warranty. They're done. They're disposable. They're not upgradable. They give you just the bare minimums. They're working towards a low price, and they're taking that out on areas of the system. So this is a no sacrifices computer at a very budget price. And you get to build it yourself, which is incredibly simple.
And once you do it once, you're going to want to do it again.
Probably. And I will say, if you've never built a computer before, don't buy any used parts off Amazon. Always buy everything new so you have support. Okay? Now, if you have experience and you're willing to figure out why somebody returned something, well, it can be a fun challenge. But if you're a first-time builder and you're a little trepidatious about starting, make sure everything's brand new. Don't buy anything off eBay or Craigslist. Get it from a reputable seller with good customer service, just to ensure that you're getting a good quality product that wasn't returned, or highly unlikely that was returned. People make mistakes. And you're not getting something fishy. And so the likelihood of everything going correctly is going to be much more in your favor. First-time builders, when something goes wrong, they assume it's something they did. But if you just sourced your parts from somebody on AliExpress or eBay, you don't know what you're getting, right? It could be a completely mislabeled product. It could be some kind of scam or fraud, all to save 20 bucks. I'm telling you, spend the extra 20 bucks. It's still at basically bargain basement prices if you do the work yourself, and you'll have one of the best computers. And by best, I mean it's dead silent, fastest computer you probably will have ever owned, and probably be the most reliable computer you've ever owned.
And just blow it out once or twice a year. I told Carey I get in the habit of like every January and every July. So,
and you don't have to, by the way. If you don't blow it out for 3 years, it's still going to run. It's just that when you do finally open it, you're going to be like, for most of us, it's going to be a lot of dust in there.
Yeah.
And it just helps keep that preventive maintenance up. And the beauty of it is, in the unlikely event something should fail, you won't be intimidated to open it up and repair it yourself because you already know where everything is. Right? You built it. And like Mitch said, you'll probably enjoy it so much you want to do it again if you had the money to. For most of us, it's the money that holds us back. And you don't have to go i7. You go with an i5, you're probably going to be fine. But the i7, it just buys you a little bit more useful life. With an i5, you say get it 7 years out of it, 6.5, 7. i7's going to get you another year, 2 years out of it. Out of usefulness, I should say. So, shall we work?
Yeah. All right.
You know where we start?
The motherboard.
Yeah, so let's see how this used motherboard from Amazon. You can tell it's used because it's got this Amazon thanks you for giving this product a second life kind of label on it.
Here we go. It's not ticking.
So remember, I buy the used parts because I'm a tech and I can determine if the used parts are damaged or not. If you're a first-time builder, how would you know? So don't take the risk. Buy new. Well, it's definitely used. You can see from the wrinkles all over the bag. When a motherboard has never been taken out of its bag, it's nice and smooth.
Right.
So we know somebody's had this out of the bag. That's also not taped correctly. You see the way that the back is folded? On a new Gigabyte board, just the top is folded. So this has clearly been out of the bag. The only thing I care about when I get a used motherboard are two things. One is the cover over the CPU socket to protect those fragile pins. And two, do I have the unique and proprietary I/O shield? As for SATA cables or instruction manuals or DVDs, these are universal. You can order them on Amazon. SATA cables are cheap. Most of us that have computers have them laying around, or you can even, if you're replacing a computer, take them out of an old computer. They're the same SATA cables. Matt says you look hungry, Mitch. I
Hungry.
think that's a bag of chips.
Oh,
I mean, technically it is. Armando Garcia with $5 contribution says, sorry about all the typos on my first super chat. I was typing on my phone. That's my story. But thanks for recommending RoboForm and Acronis. Right on, Armando. Thank you for your contribution and your support of what we do here.
I don't see any fingerprints.
No, you wouldn't see fingerprints
You know.
on it. I mean, that would be pretty interesting. Let me take a look at it. That is weird. That cover usually has words on it that says "Do not remove" or
Yeah.
that plastic.
Hopefully
Hold
they
it
have,
up so they can see
hopefully
that.
they haven't.
It's
put
like a
it-
weird generic
they
cover.
haven't put
And-
that upside down. Yeah.
It's you know what? That's not supposed to go underneath.
Well,
Okay,
that's why
I've
we
never
do.
seen
yeah,
that
That's
before.
why we do it live.
That's weird.
But-
Usually the plastic cover sits on the outside of this metal frame.
Should we build on the box or on the lazy?
Yeah, I
Susan?
don't want to scratch up the Lazy Susan. Let's take a look here at what's going on.
Give it a look. See. Uh-oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, that looks legit.
Yeah.
That's obviously how it goes. I wonder if they changed it on the socket 1200 and I just never noticed until now. I don't know how well folks can see that, but usually that little plastic cover right there sits on the outside of this frame. Will Mitch take a bite? That's hilarious. B-Y-T-E.
Okay.
Wasn't there something else going on with your home computer you wanted me to look at?
Oh,
Your audio stopped working.
that's on the Stormtrooper.
I've had a
That's
number
on
of
the
people have
Stormtrooper,
this
yeah.
problem. Is
Storm-
that Ryzen?
Yes.
People with Ryzen chips have had this issue where after you get Windows Update, your sound stops coming out of your speakers. Anybody in the chat experienced that? And the fix is to download the audio driver from, it's typically Realtek.
We have in the white Stormtrooper an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X 3.70 gigahertz with 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Something in Windows Update is breaking the audio where, it's not saying there's an audio error, just the sound stops coming out of the speakers.
No, and again, the test, it's the little 3.5 millimeter jack, so I unplug
Plugs
it
into the green port.
Yeah, plug it into another computer.
This is a
works.
Ryzen-related problem. Anybody ever had a loss? Anyway, so the fix for it, and I've seen this a number of times, only with Ryzen. It's not a dig on AMD. This is just fact. A number of people that I know, customers and friends, said, hey, Carey, my audio stopped working. And the fix was to replace the audio driver. Now, this has happened to an older, like all-in-one Dell. It's not just home builds.
Because I asked Carey, how often do these go bad? And
Yeah,
he's
you
like-
thought the jack was bad.
And he's like, no, because again, you haven't bent it or it's soldered right here on the board. He's like, I'm not 100%, but he's like, but it's not, you haven't damaged that. It's a software update driver.
I saw is I saw a customer break the 3.5 millimeter jack plug into the jack, and I was like, for me to get that out, I had to take the shielding off, and then I couldn't put it back on again. I'm
Right.
like, you know what? I said, this is. I mean, I tried. I didn't think I was going to be successful.
Okay.
I said the fix is to replace the board. Now, of course, you can add a USB audio card.
Okay.
But that just looked so terrible when I took it apart. And I didn't have anything tiny enough to get in there and try to extract the pieces. But as for the jack itself breaking, I've never seen that. I've seen people put stuff in there that didn't
break
belong
it.
in there.
Right. So,
Anyway,
but Carey's got TeamViewer on it, and I'll just have him tap in while I'm home, and we'll just click and redo the Realtek driver, and I'm sure he'll say
you can get the Realtek driver, your audio driver, either from your motherboard manufacturer, which you know will be the right one, but it'll probably be out of date. I don't know how important that is. Or you can go directly to Realtek and download the up-to-date driver. Either way should get you there.
But like you said, it's so weird where it was functioning.
Yeah, and it's just, it's
and
a
then
Windows
suddenly,
update.
and
I
then
don't know which
and
one
then
it
suddenly
is.
it doesn't function.
Yours is about the 8th or 9th one I've had to
Well,
do
good.
in the last
Okay.
18 months.
So
whatever it is, it's been-
spinning Chrome and that, and my little birthday build is working sweet, and so yeah. Should we get the camera?
in a minute. Matt Power contributes $5. Thank you, Matt. Russell Stewart said my socket 1200 cover was on the outside. Thanks, Russell. I'll turn you blue. I appreciate your helpfulness. Daniel Navarro, let's turn him blue. He said same thing with losing audio happened to him on a Ryzen 5.
Okay.
I know it's not just me, right? I mean,
Right. So,
David Reed said I've had that issue on Windows with my Ryzen. The fix for me was the same, Realtek drivers. Yep. Thank you, David. I don't know why we're not hearing more about that. I should write to Gordon over at PC World Magazine.
yeah, just, again, it's maddening. It's frustrating. So,
That's when you get an external sound card, says Jason Lyric. Yeah, I mean, an external sound card will do the trick. Like I said, you have these little USB ones. They're like $2.50 on AliExpress. They take 4 weeks to arrive, so I order 10 at a time. And I was mailing them out to potential guests when I was just doing audio-only interviews. I'd send them a little headset microphone that was like $8 on AliExpress and a little audio chip. That came from my friend George O. George recommended this to me, and they work fantastic. However, just reinstall your Realtek driver or get rid of your AMD when you're tired of it and buy an Intel. Intel AMDs, I'm sorry, but it's just until they mature. This was an ongoing issue. It'll probably happen again. It's really not a big deal to fix it, though. Dom Parada with $4.99 says, hey, guys, I'm just joining in. This is my first live stream I've been able to make in a while, and I'm paying my dues. Well, thanks, Dom. Of course, you don't have any dues. We're happy to see you. And what do they say? Tips are never expected, but always appreciated. So thank you very much for supporting the channel. We've got 491 people watching us right now. And as we start moving the cameras around to get the close-ups, why don't you give us a shout out? Let us know where in the world are you watching us from. Jim says, Carey, I've got no problems with my Ryzen 5 5600X. Well, that's brand new. That's a new chip. And he's got an Asus B550F motherboard.
but that's a good chip that you put in there for me, right?
It's nothing to do with the chip.
Right.
It has
But I
to do
mean-
with the level of maturity and something to do with Windows updates. It's probably more to blame with Realtek, except Intel motherboards have Realtek drivers too. And I've never seen this happen on a... Now, Mike Smith, on one of the boards that I sold him, after he got a Windows update, his keyboard and mouse stopped working.
But it's interesting because the white Stormtrooper, we're having that, but the little silver one is AMD, and I'm not having that you built.
No, I'm not saying everybody with AMD will have it,
right.
but I'm saying I've never seen the problem except on AMDs.
Right.
When it occurs, it's an AMD system that occurs. That specific problem has been something I've revisited time and time again. Tony Wallow watches us from California. Rich Robbins in Mesa, Arizona. Hey, Rich, good to see you. John Williams in Madison, Wisconsin. Bike Man is in Trenton, Michigan. Why don't you shout these out while I get the camera?
Oh, okay. Let's see. We got Tony from Oregon. The dude abides, but Germany. Martin from the Netherlands. Who else? We got Massachusetts. We got people all over the place.
We got people all over the place.
All over the place. That's a good town. We've got Rich from Mesa, just down the way here, and
Rich has been on the show. I was trying to see if I could capture the rain last night. If I can, know where to hold the camera. You see the pool, you can see the rain coming down. That wasn't too bad. The one that happened like 20 minutes after that one, oh, there, you can kind of see it in the lights.
oh yeah. What were you doing up that late, old man? So
What are you talking about? That wasn't that late. Does it say it's 11:45 p.m. on July 1st? 11:45 is early for me. I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am?
Me too. Yeah. Nick from New Jersey.
Jersey?
Yeah.
Jersey Shore? All right.
Come on, work. You want me to put that chip in or no?
Do I want you to do what?
You always make me put the chip in now, and I'm always, because you like to see me sweat, but I'll do it.
You up for it?
I'm up for it.
Well, hold on. Let me turn this camera on. I got to teach you how to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to go over here. We're going to go to, what do I call this one? Wireless cam.
Yeah. I knew you renamed it. Yeah.
So let me step over here and you can click on that for me, okay?
Okay.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Now,
Sure.
on the eyeball.
Yep. There we go.
Okay.
Look at us. We're like professionals.
LGA
Hey, that's not a Toto shirt.
1200. No, but with it being 4th of July, America.
That's going to be Lyle's birthday.
Really? How old
Yeah.
is he?
He's going to, well, we don't really know how old he is, but we will have had him for 10 years. I think we picked him up July 7th because the pound was closed on 4th of July. Then it was a weekend that year
Okay.
in 2011.
So he's 70 in dog years. He's getting
He's,
getting up there.
he's, he was probably a year to 2 years old when we got him. And he's still, as they say, filled with piss and vinegar.
Okay.
So, you know, he's still he gets pills for some joint issues, but otherwise, yeah, it's going to be his official, because we don't know how old he is. I said, whatever day we bring him home, we're going to call that his birthday.
Right.
Otherwise, it's hard to keep track. So,
Right.
but he was scheduled to be put down within hours 10 years ago. Think about that. And now 10 years later, I have to remind him when he's being a brat. You're supposed to be worm food by now. You know how much your body would have decomposed in 10 years? You ungrateful little, and then he gives you those eyes and you're like, your heart melts. Oh, come here, buddy. I'm sorry. He knows how to work it. So happy birthday, Lyle.
Lyle, 70 years old.
Well, I guess he'd be 70 years with us, but he was already a year or 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Right? So he's at least 77, 80 in dog years. But I don't think that's accurate. Because he's still moving pretty good if that were,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And he still ignores people and acts like a cat.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. What were we doing? Were we working at some point today? How much time have we been on so far?
The chip doesn't go on that. You got to remove that.
That's correct.
Should I do it now? Not now, or do I take the thing out of here, the box first?
Well, I mean, if you take the chip out of the box, you got to find a place to set it down until you get that out, right? So maybe you want to take that out first, and then when you take the chip out of the box, you have a place to put
Can I
it.
lift it by that?
Yeah, just lift straight up. Don't worry, if you break it, I'm gonna take it out of your check,
Okay.
and that's like gonna be like 4 months' work for you, at the rate I pay you.
Pins all look good.
What do you think, guys? Pins look good?
Yeah.
Those are very delicate. That's why the cover's on. Is that me shaking, or is that the camera?
You've only had 7 Cokes. All right.
I know, I don't understand. Am I getting old?
Yeah.
My birthday, I'm telling you,
Telling you.
starting to add up. Reeling in the ears.
Falling apart already. Okay. How do I? Oh, yeah.
I need to find a technician that can work on humans.
Yes. 2 wings here. Okay. Ooh.
Is that your Red Bull?
Yeah.
Ah. What is that? What's the chip say? 700K. Those were on sale, by the way.
Okay.
Some people wonder sometimes, why do you use a K processor on a B460? Well, because that chip, when I bought it, I think was $3 more than the non-K. Would you spend $3 more to go 10? Sometimes people make these assumptions that this costs more money and it doesn't make sense to put it into this board. But this board cost $70 because it was returned.
Okay.
And that cost, what was it? $299? Like it was ridiculously, it was Amazon Prime Day. They had chips on sale.
Yep.
So a lot of times people, they say, you're so stupid to pair that expensive chip with that cheap board without considering that that's a cheap chip with a cheap board because it was on sale. So ask questions before you come to conclusions because you might.
And say that fast 10 times. Cheap chip, cheap board. Cheap
chips.
Okay.
Cheap chips make Carey.
And here's our doodad. Very technical terms. Here's our thing. So in other words.
Well, you just don't want to show people your thing.
Yeah.
That's OnlyFans for that. They have the hands of a surgeon there, folks.
And then you have these two thingamajigs here
Thingamajigs.
to put your fingies.
Yeah.
And where's our little
Well, generally what I try and do,
arrow? Is it that one, I think?
I know this is how everybody on YouTube says to do it, but I'm telling you as a...
You do the writing facing.
So look at the writing on the chip. Make the writing on the chip same direction as the writing on the board. So if we look at the board, if I turn it this way, which is backwards to Mitch, guys. So give Mitch a break here.
Yeah.
All the writing faces me right now. From top, this would be considered the top of the board. As we look down, right, because your graphics card and stuff, when you're putting it in a tower computer, it's going to sit with this up like this. And then the writing on the board, if we look, it says gigabyte like that. So face the writing. So unless this is a mini ITX motherboard or an AMD motherboard, then different rules. But for a micro ATX or ATX generation 8, 9, 10, 11 Intel board, maybe even 7, if you put the writing on the chip in the same direction as all the writing, like typically the name of the board is like right there, then that should automatically line up that little dot.
And sometimes this
Right there
arrow
with
is
that little
sometimes this arrow is a little bit bigger, so you can tell that
Is
goes
the arrow bigger on the other side?
there. No,
No, the other, like flip it.
no,
Kinda.
oh,
Wait, you're moving too much.
oh.
Gotta go nice and slow. If it'll, is it gonna focus? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Do I have autofocus off? Hold on, let me see. No, it says it's on autofocus. There we go. Now you can see that corner's cut out.
Gotcha.
Right there.
Okay.
But that would be, anyway, if you look at the writing,
Yep.
it'll focus. I should put this on manual because this is going to drive me.
There you go. Oh, you had it. Right there.
Okay. So put it in with
And-
that writing.
Yep. And you always say to put in one side. See, some of them have notches, right?
Oh, they all have notches.
I don't see
The
any.
10th gen
oh,
notches
right here.
are towards
Gotcha.
the bottom,
Yeah,
and the
gotcha.
9th gen notches are towards the
Gotcha.
top.
Right here. So that helps. See chat right here.
Again, if you hold it still, let me zoom in and give it a minute to focus. It's struggling. There's a little notch, and it's on the other side too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see your magic, Mitch. Magic Mitch.
So
I
it's
think that's a movie coming
yeah,
out.
So don't panic.
Don't touch that.
No. But
Rest it up against the edge.
but it helps you see like that. Right? So now I just gently set it down.
Yeah, just gently let it go. You can let it go right now. It can fall. Perfect. But what I like to do is I like to just grab the edges of this internal heat spreader, this big metal cover.
Don't give it a yank, but I mean,
No, just want to see if I can twist it. Because right now it is not making contact with those pins. It's resting above them.
right, but we've got
But if we push down on it, it is designed to get pushed down. And what we're looking for is we want to make sure this doesn't twist. That means it's in this, there's a raised lip area around the edge. And that's what I'm using to guide the centering of the chip. If the little grooves, the little notches that Mitch was pointing out, there's one right there and there's one on the other side. On a 9th gen or an 8th gen, they're up here. And that's why those, remember when I said I took this chip out, tried to put it in a 9th gen board, it wouldn't fit. Then I realized I'm a dummy. But when you put this cover down, it's going to push down on that chip.
and you want this to go under that screw.
That's right. And now there's going to be a lot more resistance. This was really super loose.
Yeah.
And as you start bringing it forward, you're going to have to use a little muscle on that.
So find a place like this for your hand.
Yeah, see, show them where you're putting your hand. Right on top of the I/O shield. This is why Mitch does not have to wear an anti-static strap. He's not touching any of the electrical components, only the grounding areas.
And here we go. Quite a bit of force. Don't
Yep.
panic now.
Make it one smooth action if you can. Bend that little thing away and underneath the catch. And you've done that successfully. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
All right.
What do you think? You getting better at that? More
Yeah.
confident?
And again, as Uncle Carey says, hang on to that. Put that in the motherboard box.
Yeah, if the
In case-
motherboard, like if this board turns out to be, it has a problem in a year from now, I think it's a 2 or 3 year warranty on these boards.
Okay.
All motherboard manufacturers universally require that socket to be covered. Now, AMD chips still do that old school pins on the bottom of the CPU. They have an advanced jet. They did with Threadripper, but not on the Ryzens. It's a very dangerous setup. It's easy to bend and break pins. Well, those pins are also easy to bend and break, and that's what the cover's for. If a CPU is being removed out of here, you don't want to leave those pins exposed because you can look at them wrong and they'll bend
Yep.
practically. What's next?
We always wait till after we install the cooler
Yeah.
to put the RAM in, so cooler, I guess, would be next.
No.
No?
How about the solid state drive?
Oh, yeah. Okay, says the Beatles. All right, let's see. I was just testing you. It is Friday. Okay. My eye. This has not been. This is hermetically sealed. Okay,
sealed.
as Johnny Carson used to say. People
Do
are-
we have Band-Aids ready?
Yeah, people are like, who's Johnny Carson?
Hermetically
very
sealed.
good
Was he
night.
a rap artist?
Yeah. My cousin. All right. And this, and we've got this beautiful 1 terabyte worth of storage. Okay, and you have little doodads here so that you can put your
Things,
fingers in.
thingamajigs, and doodads. Got your pen and paper. There'll be a test
Yeah,
later.
this have two? Oh, it does. Kind of similar to the CPU. Who says it takes brains? All right.
Step right up, step right up. See the man install a solid state
state
NVMe
drive.
M.2 drive.
Right here. No, okay.
Where's that going to go?
Do you use the furthest one down? Because there's two. So you like to use the furthest one down.
I like to use the one closest to the CPU, and on some
Oh.
boards, one runs at four
Okay.
speed or 3 speed, and one runs at half speed.
Okay.
And I think on this board they both run at the same speed. You'd have to check the manual, but
Okay.
I'm going to say put it in this
Okay.
one, and if we
Yeah.
have to change it, we'll
Oh,
change
I've
it.
got to take this out
Yeah.
first.
And we're going to want that black-handled Japan Industrial Standard JIS
Number one.
Phillips style screw. It's not Phillips, it's JIS. It's very much like a Phillips, but the way that they've carved the end out there is, well, you'll feel the difference.
Yeah.
Nothing sits in there as well as that JIS driver.
And
That's a Hozan D550 screwdriver. All these parts you're seeing, from the Lazy Susan to the screwdriver, even this little magnet here that keeps this magnetically charged, are all available on Amazon. I have an Amazon store. The link is in the video notes. And anytime you buy anything from Amazon using my link to Amazon, I make a little commission and help support the channel, and you don't pay any more or any less.
now there's a notch right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a notch right here.
There is. Have you done this before?
Once or twice, yeah. And you don't put it in flat, not 45, but you want to line it up. Famous last words.
You can kind of give it a little wiggle. There you
Okay.
go.
And here's our diving board,
Yep.
because we've got to.
Now we want that screw on the end of a magnetized screwdriver. It's very small. It's very important to use a magnetized screwdriver. Magnets are not bad for computers. This is not 1972.
I wish it was. I love the music back then. Okay.
Yeah, it was all sad hippie music.
Okay.
Alone Again.
Now, how
Natural,
much you don't cinch?
Seasons in the Sun.
Yeah, you don't have to cinch that much. Just that much.
Yeah, the only thing that screw is doing is keeping this from coming loose and falling
Okay.
out, right?
Yep.
So as soon as you feel a little resistance,
try, yeah.
yeah, let me just feel what you've got going on here. Yeah, it's perfect.
And look at that.
Yeah, don't over tighten that.
No,
But
no.
don't leave it loose. Just right where it's snug.
So beautiful. 1 terabyte of storage.
Good work, Mitch.
Good to go. Who says it takes brains to build a computer?
I never
All
did.
right, all right, so let's clear our work area here.
I like the way you're thinking. Now, you want to do the cooler install?
This, not really, but I mean this. Why don't we
This
switch?
one's easy.
Why don't we switch for?
All right, my hand's getting
Yeah,
tired.
okay.
It's a good excuse for me to let this thing go. I think I'm a little shaky today.
Drugs haven't kicked in yet?
No, I think I
okay.
might need to take some.
Okay. Ooh.
You got any?
Uh,
What do you got today, Mitch? Didn't you used to be a pharmacist?
I'm high on life. All right, so
You got any extra?
yeah. They call me the candy man.
handyman.
I have it all. So.
This has become my new favorite cooler. Now, look, I've not lost any love for the Mugen 5. I still love the Mugen 5. And in fact, the Be Quiet, what's it called? I can never remember the name. It's such a weird name. I know I've got a few of them. Pure Rock and the Pure Rock 2 and the Pure Rock Slim.
Both very nice.
They're all good coolers.
Yeah.
But if you ask me which one would I want for myself of those three, I got to tell you, the Scythe in many ways is a bit bigger. So if I'm doing like a 9900K, and by the way, the only difference between a 9700K and a 9900K is the hyper-threading is turned on, right? 9700K has all the same specs as a 9900K, except it's got 8 cores and 8 threads. 9900K, same specs, 8 cores, 16 threads. So unless you're doing multi-threaded applications, there's no reason to spend the money unless, again, there was a sale. The 9900Ks were $299. So they said it was a maximum limit of 3. I bought 3, but they're more difficult to cool. I don't know quite how well this Noctua is going to do on a 9900K, but I will say for most people, they would never push it that hard to begin with. So even a smaller cooler would work fine. It's when I pressure test it, which is unlikely to be done by a client under real world situations, that I may run into heat issues. So I don't really know if the Noctua or the Scythe Mugen 5 or the Be Quiet would be better for the 9900K, and perhaps one day when I have time, we'll test it. But I do know it's more than adequate for, all three of those are more than adequate for a 9700K. I can't explain to you why those extra 8 threads make such a big difference with heat, but that 9900K can be difficult to cool. All right, so I love the way, Noctua should be in the business of packaging. If this whole cooler thing doesn't work out, they'll have another job just in packaging. Look how beautiful that is. So well done.
And this comes in, you said, about $80?
$80, and I got to tell you, for what you get for $80, I think combined with the ease of installation and the fact that it's pretty much indestructible, the worst that can ever happen is you may have to replace this fan at some point. Maybe. It is a Noctua fan, so maybe not. This should last the full 8 years of the build without any maintenance or replacements. So that's, what, $10 a year you're paying?
Yeah.
That's less than $1 a month. Now, there are cheaper coolers, but you'll typically pay in other ways. You pay a little now or pay a lot later.
Well, when you consider your CPU is almost the most expensive thing, right, of your build, the brains of the computer.
Well, every component, here, look at me. Every component on your computer is important.
Yeah.
There's no sense going with a high-end motherboard and a low-end CPU only to upgrade it later. It's just going to cost you more money and increase the risk of damaging it during that upgrade. Try and build everything you can at once so that you're good for a while. Even if you got to tighten your belt a little bit, it'll pay off over the long term, statistically speaking. It's a good investment. We didn't put a 2 terabyte drive in here or a rocket ship of a drive. It's an Intel 665p. It's a budget NVMe drive. Most people can't tell the difference between a Samsung 980 and an Intel. Most people, when you give them the computer, the difference is milliseconds in how long things take to load. Most people won't notice that. Only the people who know what to look for and who are looking for it and then get upset if it doesn't meet their expectations, they're the most difficult people to please. And as long as they've got money, then they can afford to have that behavior. It's interesting to me that I see a lot of people living the way rich people used to live. It was rich people that could afford to have food delivered. It was rich people that could afford to take a taxi. It was rich people that could afford to have a maid. It was rich people that could have a butler. Everybody wants to be rich. So, in fact, rich people are the ones that had cell phones. It used to be $2, $3 a minute to use a cell phone. And now everybody's got cell phones. Everybody's got their own Alexas, right? It's like a butler. Alexa, do this. Alexa, do that. Everybody's got Postmates or Grubhub or these other food delivery services. Everybody's got all the things that were sort of like in the 80s were the kinds of behaviors only rich people could afford. I don't use these delivery services because to me it still feels like a rich person thing. I can't explain it, but well, I guess I just did. But to me, having a butler or having something being waited on, especially like a real fancy restaurant, I get really uncomfortable with it.
I did tell you my butler's name is Sledgehammer, so he's a big Peter Gabriel fan.
Well,
Okay.
I would imagine somebody like Mitch probably does have a butler in his Scottsdale home.
That's Snotsdale. All
That's right, Snobsdale.
Snobsdale.
However, I was raised, we were pretty poor, and the older I get, the more I realize how tough it was. I didn't realize how bad it was. And I see kids now who, they have all these things that rich kids had, for lack of a better explanation. I didn't have that stuff as a kid, and I don't miss it. And when it comes to building a computer, I was going somewhere with this. If you're going to be ultra snobby about megahertz and frequency and CPU temp and all this other stuff, then if you can afford to have that attitude, have at it. But for the rest of us who are practical and don't want to waste our money, I do believe that this is a sound investment if you're not somebody who always has to have the latest and greatest, and you're not somebody who's going to open it up and keep changing things constantly. You can if you want to. However, I don't believe the vast majority of people have any interest in that. They just want a good computer, and they don't want to have to replace it anytime soon, and they don't want it to cost an arm and a leg. Well, this is it. In my opinion, you can stick with any B460 or B365 board from Asus, ASRock, Gigabyte, or MSI. I think they're all pretty much equal in this regard. Stick with 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, or go 64 if you really want to go over the top. Whatever you want to do for an NVMe drive, this would be what I consider a bare minimum. I won't install less than 1 terabyte because for the $50 price difference, it's not worth it. Just be done with it and you're good for a long time, or you should be. And if you outgrow it, you can add another one, or you can add a mechanical drive with the SATA ports, or you can one screw, take it out, put a bigger one in. They sell these up to 8 terabytes now. $1,300 for an 8 terabyte Cyberbron drive, if you've got that kind of money. So I'm not trying to appeal my builds to rich people. I'm also not trying to appeal my builds to people who want to continue to scrape the bottom of the barrel and are willing to sacrifice the value of their time for saving, 30, 40 bucks on a build. What do you suppose the cheapest cooler, like if we look at this cooler and you say, wow, that's an expensive cooler at $80. What would a cheap cooler be? What do you think the cheapest cooler is you could buy that would work on that? 20 bucks?
30 bucks.
Yeah, 20, 30 bucks. And you might get by with it, but it won't be as easy to install. I've never seen a cooler this easy to install that's from a third party. It's certainly not going to work as good or as quiet, and isn't going to have this build quality. So I went to fill up the gas tank. I got this minivan. It costs me $52 to fill up the gas tank. That'll last about 2 weeks. This is going to cost $80, and that's going to last 8 years. So it's funny how we justify how we spend our money. This is a one and done. All of this whole build is one and done.
For
8 years.
Yep.
And the whole total cost of this will probably, again, depending on, like if you build it exactly like I've got it here, I think you're around $800. Plus you need Windows, right? Or unless you want to use Linux or something. And you're done. Assuming you've already got a keyboard, mouse, monitor, and speakers, they're all compatible. You don't have to worry about whether or not what you've got is going to work. I guarantee it's all going to work. Because it's quality, you're not risking the kinds of frustrations that people will voluntarily subject themselves to, justifying it by saying, well, I'm not rich. I can't afford that. Don't buy anything until you can afford it. And by here's what I've learned. And you take it or leave it. But by being impatient and buying what I could afford, it costs me way more money than just waiting a little longer until I could piece it together, or finding something around the house I could sell, or having a friend loan me the money if I want it that badly. Don't put it on a credit card. You will pay way more unless you can pay that credit card off at the end of the month. Bad idea. Stay away from the credit cards. They will eat you alive.
Just donate plasma like your Uncle Mitch does.
Hey, look, if you donate plasma, is that $150?
It's now, because I don't have the antibodies, it's $50.
$50?
Yeah, twice a week.
Twice a week, $100 a week to do nothing.
Do nothing.
If you got aluminum cans, there's an aluminum shortage, can prices going up. Walk around the neighborhood, people dropping cans off everywhere. Save your cans, take them in. I get $30-40 every time I take my cans in, but it's only like once every 6 to 8 months before I fill this big laundry bin I've got with, I crush the cans to fit more in there. There's so many different ways now that you can collect a few bucks here, a few bucks there, that this excuse, I don't have the money, doesn't really sit well with me to justify buying something cheap that ends up costing you more, and can be very frustrating, very difficult to fix, and present real challenges. So the parts I'm recommending, if you follow my parts guide and you don't buy anything used and you only buy from reputable sellers, not talking about Etsy, well, I'm not talking about eBay. Etsy's a great place, by the way, but they don't sell motherboards. But if you're looking at new product, Amazon and Newegg are my number 1 and number 2, followed by perhaps B&H Photo. Fry's Electronics is gone. I wouldn't buy from Best Buy personally, but you could. They're still a reputable company, and you're not going to get knockoff products, or well, you could. We already had a viewer write in that they bought a CPU at Best Buy that was relabeled as something else, but Best Buy did take care of it. Anyway, that's my advice. Take it or leave it. That's how I do that's why I do what I do. And you'll be surprised how fast 8 years goes by. So anybody who thinks an $80 cooler is expensive, get the Scythe for $50. Perfectly fine. It'll work just fine. It's not going to match. This is black. The installation's easy, but this one's just a little easier. They're both quality. The Scythe is actually a little bigger, probably a little better value. Or the Be Quiet, the Pure Rock is also a good cooler. They're all about $50. And there's the, Noctua has the $50 version of this cooler. I've got one here. It's this right here, Mitch. This is the $50 version of this $80 cooler.
Okay.
And I haven't tested them side by side to tell you exactly what the difference is, but Google it. I'm sure there's other YouTube channels that have already done this. But this is the same price as the Scythe, which is the same price as the Be Quiet. And if you want to go $30 more, $30, and just be done with it. Well, either way, if you went with the Be Quiet or you went with the Mugen, you'd be done with it.
Yep.
But this is just a little easier to install. All right, am I clear?
Everybody got that?
And if you want to spend $30 on a cooler and then spend 12 hours of your time installing it and buying a box of Band-Aids, hey, don't let me get in your way. If you're an experienced builder, it could be a fun challenge. If you're a first-time builder, it may just turn you off to computer building, and you'd be like, I just wasted my money, right? So that's not likely to happen with this configuration, and that's why I'm so enthusiastic about recommending it. You can change to whatever NVMe drive you want. You can change to whatever RAM you want. You can change to whatever 10th or 11th gen CPU you want, and you can stick with any B460 or B365 motherboard from ASRock, Asus, Gigabyte, or MSI. As long as it's got the number of ports, check the number of ports on the back, including your video outputs. And if it's got everything you want on the back, that's essentially all you need to know about the chipset. And if you're somebody who wants to overclock, that's a luxury thing for people who have time to mess around. That's not a budget thing. So we're not covering that here because, again, I'm trying to help the vast majority of people, not the enthusiasts. The enthusiasts are well spoken for on the internet. It's the average folks who are not well spoken for, and those are the ones I advocate for. Now, we are going to have that issue here where these Gigabyte boards have this one mounting hole that I keep complaining about, and they keep putting it on, that I've never seen a case have support for this mounting hole.
Okay.
So if you're building in a case like the 200R, you'll just leave that empty. But what I'm going to do is I've got these little plastic standoffs right here, Mitch. I've had these since the 90s because we used to use these. This is how we used to install motherboards. These little pegs would slide into slots, and then 1 or 2 screws would lock the board down. And since these don't phase out overnight, right? They just kind of slowly faded away until you don't see them anymore. What I will do is I'll cut that little nub off the end. That's the piece that used to slide in the motherboard tray, so that it ends up being nice and smooth like that.
Okay.
And then that'll rest against the motherboard tray. I would not recommend you buy these and use them. I'm only using them because I have them and I want to get rid of them.
Sure.
And they're, again, I was raised pretty broke, so I don't want to throw these away. And if at least I use it even where it's not required, I feel like I'm doing 2 good things. I'm recycling and I'm getting rid of the overwhelming stash I have of these stupid things. I don't think anybody will just sell you one anyway. If you go on Amazon to buy these nylon motherboard standoffs, you get like a package of 50.
Yeah.
You only need 1. And it would cost you as much to mail 1 as it costs to mail 50. So I think that's why they do that. So I recommend if you don't have it, just leave it out. But we will put screws in this mounting hole, this one will have a post. This will be a screw, and then there's 2 more. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws are going to hold this down.
Okay.
All right. And if you want to add a graphics card to this, if you want to turn it into a gaming machine, that's all you got to do. Make sure you have a big enough power supply. We're not going to use a big power supply. We'll use a $40 EVGA 500 watt power supply. That's all we need. But if you're going to add a graphics card, then you will have to add a power supply that can provide whatever amount of power that graphics card requires. The more expensive the graphics card, the more expensive the power supply to power it. Generally speaking, that's the rule. Otherwise, if you don't need that external graphics card, if you're just doing work or email, browsing the web, the things most people do, the onboard video that's built onto this chip is more than adequate, and most people can't tell the difference.
Okay.
Most regular computer users cannot tell the difference. And it's 1 less part to fail, 1 less expense, 1 less cable advantage, and you can save money on your power supply. So that's all the reasoning behind what I do. And this is a perspective that only somebody in the business can give you. An enthusiast doesn't really understand this, generally speaking. They don't really understand the needs of non-enthusiasts. They are an enthusiast, and they want to talk to other enthusiasts. And if you're not an enthusiast and you can't tell the difference on YouTube, you might be misled into thinking you need all this other impractical nonsense and expense. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need that. If you want it, then you want it. But you definitely don't need it. All right, so the way this comes out of the box, we've got the fan already attached to the heatsink, and there's a cover. And that's keeping this polished bottom piece here completely free of debris and fingerprints. So we're going to leave that on until we need it. We'll just set this aside for right now. In this box, generally speaking, if you're building a computer the way Dell and HP build computers, like for a client, and it's not for, let's say for example, you're building this computer and you don't intend on replacing it for 8 years, you can throw this away and you can throw this into the trash. Once we're done with the thermal compound, I recommend you hold on to it, but that little adapter can go in the trash can. This little upper part is for Intel mounting systems. Noxua did a good job, and instead of mixing everything together and you have to separate it out, this is for Intel, these 2 things and this. And the rest of this can all go into the trash can.
Okay.
Now, if you want to save it in case you want to switch to AMD, you're welcome to do that. Never, well, I won't say never. For most computers I sell, I always give the customer the extra parts. I don't think I've really ever had a customer need this, because usually if we're switching the processor out, we have to switch the motherboard.
Right.
And then we might as well spend another 50 to 80 bucks on a cooler. It doesn't make sense to use the old cooler when everything else is new.
Okay.
I don't know anybody who does that. I think it's happened once in my 30 years of business. There's a part of me that's like, don't throw that away. But there's another part of me that's like, just throw it away. You're not going to use it. If you need to buy another cooler, go buy another cooler. If you stick with Intel, or at least with this, socket compatibility, you just reuse what you've got anyway.
Yep.
Right? If we went to a Series 500 chipset board on Intel, we would have the same pattern and the same mounting kit would apply. I think I'm mostly telling that for myself. I am now getting to a point where I'm starting to throw this extra stuff into the garbage. This is the blister maker screwdriver Nashua includes, which is the worst possible screwdriver you could ever use, but it will get the job done. The directions, there's 3 separate directions, one for AMD, one for socket 115X, which also includes socket 1200, which we have here, and then one for the socket 20XX. X meaning that's a variable number that changes, and they're fully compatible, and 3 separate sets of instructions. I don't need any of these instructions. I don't need this. There's nothing else here but cardboard. There's nothing else in this box right here but more cardboard. And then we're going to clear the area and just put that over there. So mounting this, as I said, super, super easy. Oh wait, there was one more thing. There was one more thing in the box. My bad.
Got a little ahead of yourself.
The back plate for Intel. Remember I said this?
Yeah.
Should be underneath. Yeah.
Ah, very.
I did.
Yeah,
now the rest is cardboard. All right. Yeah. Sometimes I make it even easier than it really is. This is a pretty important part. See the 2 screws that hold down the CPU backplate here?
Yep.
Or the socket backplate? Notice there's 1 screw there. Notice the holes on this backplate. Mm-hmm. There's 2 holes up there, and those 2 holes. And notice these screws are already installed, which with Enermax we had to do that by hand, which was a pain in the butt.
Yep.
It's worth a few extra bucks to not have to do that and just slide that in. And it doesn't, even though we could slide it in this way, that is wrong.
Right.
You see why that's wrong, right? You can visually see.
Yep.
And I can flip this 90 degrees each way. And there's only one way that it's right, and that's where those holes get filled.
Yep, just like that.
Right? And then we're just going to set the board back down. Now, in the little baggie here, we've got all the screws and standoffs needed for finalizing this install. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this open, rip this open.
Slice it. Oh.
Nah. Brute force, my man. Brute force.
What?
See these little plastic standoffs? We're just going to slide those right up there like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you do this?
Easy peasy.
You think you can do this?
Indubitably. All right.
Indubitably. You see these little things here? Now look.
The parentheses.
You see the little screw sticking out?
Yep.
You don't want that screw facing down. You want the screw facing up. You notice I could put this on this way. I could put it on this way. I could put it on this way. I could put it on that way. You see how it's got a curve?
Yep.
All right. We want the curve outward. You see the lever?
Mm-hmm.
Just go right over that lever with the screw facing up and the curve like imagine these are parentheses. You know what parentheses are?
I flunked elementary school, so. The smiley things. Okay, there you go.
You want the parentheses to you want to encapsulate the CPU with parentheses. You understand what I'm saying?
If you say so.
Well,
Okay,
let me show you why.
Okay.
You see the distance that these are apart?
Mm-hmm.
If I turn this the other way, it physically moves that.
Yeah.
If I turn this upside down, you see there's capacitors here?
Yeah.
That would potentially collide and hit that capacitor. And if you screw it down, you'll puncture it. That's not a warranty issue.
Right.
So while this stuff is extraordinarily easy, it's important you pay attention to those little details. And it'll all go super easy if you pay attention, take your time, and don't use any brute force. Everything should fit easily. If it's not fitting easily, you're doing it wrong.
or just watch this video again. Hit pause.
Yeah, rewind it as need be.
As need be.
If you get frustrated, just go watch TV or listen to some music. Do something else and come back to it. This will wait for you.
Right.
And I know you're probably anxious to get your machine up and running, but don't be so anxious that you cause all these problems and you're like, geez, what a miserable experience that was. This should be a lot of fun. And it is super, super easy as long as you pay attention to those little details. Now, Noxua wants you to use a little blister maker to tighten these down, but I'm impatient and I'm just going to power these down.
With the best screwdriver
I love this
ever
driver.
made.
The Milwaukee M4. You'll see I've got another one of these neodymium magnets. What's interesting is you can turn it on the other way, and then the screws won't stick to it. So if you put this on and the screws aren't sticking, you got to flip it the other way.
Yep.
See that?
Do it again. Take two. Ah.
All right, now stay there. Let me flip this the other way. Oh, wait a minute. I was going to say, I think I had it on backwards.
Yeah. Oh,
usually, see the metal part
Yeah.
on the end? That usually goes down towards the, there's a little hex part of the screw you can see.
Gotcha.
And that's hex on the end of this. But on some drivers, when you flip it the other way, anyway, that's what you do if it's not sticking. You get it on backwards.
Okay.
These are on my Amazon store, by the way. They come in a 2-pack for like $6. Clear?
As mud. All right. Yeah.
I'll just double check these. I want to make sure they're tight.
Didn't trust your clutch number 3.
No, it's a very gentle
Yeah.
clutch setting, which is perfect.
Correct.
If you look here, there's a clutch on this, and it'll turn the driver off when it hits this torque point.
Yeah.
If I move it to the little picture of a drill, then it turns the clutch off, and it'll torque it to the
Right.
battery's ability. When I do computer work, I always set this
to 3.
I found 3 to be my preference. It's not a documented, scientifically suggested engineering standard, but from my experience in 30 years of doing this, that feels about right for everything, putting in mechanical drives, solid state drives, even the motherboard screws. If you're a first-time builder, turn all your screws by hand. Do not use an electric driver because you could cross-thread and strip screws very easily. I'm a professional and I've been doing this for a number of years, and I also accept that if I were to screw up a thread on a screw, I take responsibility for that. You understand? I don't go, woe is me, I'm a victim. I've made that decision and I've taken that responsibility. But because I'm turning so many screws, I don't want repetitive stress disorders, and I'm inherently efficient. I'm an efficient person, and I can get the job done faster. This battery in here is a lithium-ion battery. It lasts me about 3 months between charges, at least. It's got a little battery meter on here. There it is. And this can fold up into the gun shape if you know.
And that thing typically about 175?
No, about 139. But you won't get this long bit.
Yeah, you got to have
this magnet. But for 139, you will get one battery and the battery charger. The charger charges this battery in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Right? Once every 3 months is about when I need it. You see I put a little date code on the battery because the batteries will likely start to have a reduced lifespan over time, regardless of how much you use it.
And you said you've got this listed in the...
Yeah, if you look at my Amazon store, this Lazy Susan's $39 for this Lazy Susan. The screwdriver, the 6-inch long Phillips number 2-bit, the magnet, the razor blade that you were flipping open, that's in there.
Good.
Lots of other stuff are in there. So even if you use the link to go to Amazon, but you don't buy the thing that the link points to, but you buy something else, I still get a commission on the sale. If my link took you to Amazon, anything you buy on Amazon, then I make a commission for. Very tiny commission, but when enough people do that, it adds up to a significant amount of money. Sometimes I can make more off Amazon commissions than what YouTube pays me, but then that's because YouTube pays crap. I want to just take a look here in the chat.
Can we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a minute
yeah.
because I know your hands are tired. We got about 594 people watching right now. Welcome in, everybody. Let's go to camera 1. You're good, Mitch. Thank you, sir.
I'm very thirsty. All right.
I am too.
Yeah, I'm quite parched. All right. It goes like this, right? Yeah. You click that. No. And you go like.
It was already charged and you released it. Did you get it?
Yeah. Push this in to close it.
You don't have to. I mean, the battery's
Yeah,
good on that for a while.
Walking across camera. What do you want?
Search text says,
What do you
Gatorade,
want?
please.
What do you want to drink? Gatorade.
Yeah,
Come on,
he
come
says,
on.
I have an old Black & Decker powered screwdriver that takes 4 AA cells. It's 12 years old, still works like it. Yeah, and you know, those don't have any torque setting. If you go back far enough, you'll see I used an orange and black. It was rechargeable, I think. I don't think it took batteries. But the rotation's so slow on it. It's like, the screws go in so slow. Thank you. I'll leave you a good tip.
Yeah, too early to start drinking yet. All right. So,
He's got his sugar-free lemonade.
yeah. Pinky up. Class.
Fancy. All right, well, we're taking a little break here because,
I was getting a little.
well, I've been talking more than working. I know, what a shock. Like I said, these are like for an extra fan we're not going to put on, brackets for AMD we're never going to use, and standoff and screws for AMD socket install. Here, it was a present for you. Happy birthday.
What'll I do with it? Don't be graphic. All right.
You see that recycle
Oh yeah.
bin right
Okay.
there? Chris Johnson contributes $10. He says, I'm loving the build so far. Thank you.
Right here, huh?
That's the one, the round file.
That's the circular file. All right.
Sarge Tech says his Black & Decker has torque settings. Mine did not have any torque settings. It was just this really slow, but it was, what was that, 1990?
Did you say torque or dork? Oh, torque. Yeah.
I guess they both mean the same thing.
I still can't get over how easy that is. I remember years ago struggling with a Zalman.
Oh,
It was, where it was all copper and the instructions were in hieroglyphics, and I could, I was finding YouTube videos and slowing them
hey,
back.
you're lucky you had YouTube videos back then.
And they were so sharp, you didn't want to bend the fins, but you had to kind of work around. Oh, it was horrible compared to this. Just boom, boom, boom. I mean, they've come so far on those things.
David Martinez says, what's the temperature there in Arizona? Well, if you go to Google and you type in weather space Phoenix,
You let us know.
You tell us.
I'm guessing.
Now, the weather has cooled a little bit because
Yeah.
of the rain last night.
Yeah.
But it's humid. I
And
think
it
it's
was
90
overcast, but now the sun is out blazing.
It feels like 94.
I'm going to guess a little warmer is what I'm going to guess. So
It says 97. Yeah.
okay, which is
Still
yeah,
still 20 degrees cooler than it was. But
yeah. I gotta get out of here next summer. I can't,
Sarge Tech says, I love Mitch's America tea. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, because I'm an old man. A lot of people, older people like the heat, but it's just I got to get out of here next summer. And well, with any luck, travel again will open up, and I can get.
What
back
I wouldn't give to be in Michigan. You know what the weather is in Grand Rapids today?
probably 72 is what I'm
I think
thinking.
it's somewhere in the 80s with lows of the 60s at night. I mean, it just sounds perfect. I'm really feeling the pressure to get out of Arizona. Every year, I become less and less tolerant to this heat. It's like my body's telling me, if you don't leave soon, you're going to die. Like, that's how it feels.
Yeah,
Not to mention, everybody treats each other like dirt.
it's
The culture here is not friendly. It's a very... You're on your own, kid.
Yep.
So I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
so ready.
Yeah.
But I think what I'll do is I'll go out there for like a month or two. Then I'll come back. Then I'll go out there for like 3 months. Then I'll come back. And then I'll go out there for like 8 months. Then I'll come back. And then I'll go out there for a year. And then I won't come back.
Right.
I think that's what's going to happen. Tim Teal says, Carey, thank you for your recommendation. I got a Gigabyte B560 DS3H for my i7 10700K. It was 64 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte Samsung M.2 with the notchable cooler you're using. I'm going to tell you right now, Tim, that's going to be the best system you've ever owned. It'll be the fastest, quietest, and most reliable. Am I wrong? Jim says, can you really fry an egg on the sidewalk in Phoenix? I think there's a number of YouTube videos.
I will tell you, yeah, the 5 or 8 years ago when it got to 123, there was a news team that took a black car that had been out there all afternoon, and the reporter said, this has been an urban myth. I'm going to show you, and he cracked that on that top of that hood of that black car.
Oh, on the car.
On the car, and I'm telling you, it bubbled. I'm like, I wouldn't eat the egg. I mean,
No.
it wasn't fully cooked, but he's like, you know, that's hot.
What about somebody baked cookies? They put the cookie sheet on the dashboard of the car.
Okay.
And then closed the car up with the windows up and left it in the sun. They cooked it, and I bet it smelled delicious in there. Best air freshener ever.
Yep.
My grandmother used to, and I was a kid and I didn't understand, a kid from Detroit, she would get these big sheets of tin foil, aluminum foil. Why do people call it tin foil? Oh, sorry, I'm digressing. Squirrel!
Yeah.
She'd take these big sheets of aluminum foil, and she lived out in Buckeye, which was like, at the time, the sticks. Anyway, you know, a bunch of old cars in the yard that hadn't run, dogs running around. It was, yeah, my mom's side of the family was a little bit feral. Anyway, my grandmother would take these large sheets of aluminum foil, place them on the hood and trunk, the big flat areas of the car, and lay out grapes. And in 2 days, they're raisins. And then you'd bring them in and pick the raisins off, and you'd have raisins.
Okay.
I didn't know that's where, like at that age, it was 1976, 75. I was like, what is she doing? It's like, oh, that's where raisins come. And that's why, by the way, you don't give your dog grapes. Everybody knows raisins aren't good for dogs.
Right.
Or is it the other way around? Anyway, they're the same thing. So, but that's how hot it is. Like in the hot summer, I think what people don't understand about Phoenix is we often have no clouds.
Yeah, blue sky, no clouds. Blue sky, no clouds. Yeah.
It's often not windy. Vegas is windy.
Yep. That's high desert. Yep.
So Vegas is like a hairdryer and Phoenix is like an oven. Now, if there were clouds,
Right.
then it would be less oppressive to go outside. That sun hurts. It hurts.
Yep.
It's just boring down on you. And what time does the sun come up now?
5:35.
And when does it go down now? 8?
7:10.
So how many hours of just
Yeah.
unfiltered sunlight? So anytime there's a cloud, or if there's shade rather, if there's a breeze, that's all it takes to make it nicer.
Yep.
I've had enough of it. Like I'm sweating now, and we've got the AC on full blast. And I know my body is telling me, get out of this place. And it's only going to get hotter. They said in the next 5 years,
Right.
with climate, yeah. So I'll be happy when I do my first live video from Michigan during a blizzard.
Right.
And they're all going to laugh at me, go, you happy now? And I'm going to be like out there in a t-shirt going, yes, yes. And at the end of the video, it'll be like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining, just frozen.
What a way to go.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Perfectly preserved.
Yep.
Anyway, Chris Garrett contributes $2. He says, I have an enema. I'd rather have an enema than have Linux. That can be arranged. Do you have the glove?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, I think I have a glove here for you. He offered, right?
Yeah. Carey needs all the gloving he can get.
That's right.
Steady now.
Oh, I don't think this is his first rodeo.
No, kid friendly. I will be honest with you, and I had a buddy give me
clean. Yes, smell.
I had a buddy give me an old laptop that he was no longer using, and I put Linux on it just for something to do, and I gotta admit, I mean, I wouldn't use it as my daily driver, but I was like, it seems interesting to use. And again, Chrome worked like Chrome was supposed to. I wasn't doing all the writing documents and things like that. But I'm like, I don't know, as a lightweight operating system on a older laptop. I'm like, work for me. You gonna use some old, or are you gonna use?
Yeah, why take the
Yeah.
new one out? These are the same ones. They're
Yeah.
just
How much?
leftover.
You don't. Wait a minute. The plunger's all the way down.
Is it? I'm a cheap guy. I want to use every bit of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Well,
frugal.
I mean, you better put on your
Just
glasses.
take the cap off and you do it.
Oh,
I got the glove. I got to keep my glove
P size
because I got to do an enema after this.
All right. Well, I don't know whether there's even a piece, huh?
Just come on, use your muscles. Little something. Boy, that thing really needs an enema.
You tricked me as a,
Just
as a
throw
joke.
that away.
Yeah.
Throw it away. At a certain point, you got to
Yeah.
throw things away, Carey. That's what you're supposed to say to me.
You hoarder. All right.
What'd you call me?
Yeah. That's with an H, not a W.
Oh,
You got more? Oh God, you
I've
got,
got
a lot
a few of
them.
these.
A few of them.
If that one's empty, we got a little bit out of that one. We get a little bit out of this one.
Okay, steady now. This
Hold
one,
on, I think
this
I got another
plunger.
one. Wait, I got another one. Hold on. Now, see these are from Scythe. Don't mix them.
No.
Anyway,
But these.
I think there's a few more in here. This is Scythe.
Eeny.
Now, there's no reason not to use the Scythe with the Nitro.
Right.
This thermal compound works just as well. Hiccups. But
Okay.
whatever you do,
I'll
don't mix them together.
Well, let me look at the plungers.
Hold on, wait. What about this one? You forgot one.
Okay. Let me look at the plungers, and I can tell you just by eyeballing the plungers. But this one, eeny, meeny, miny.
Hey, Mo.
All right, I'm gonna try this one. Spread out. All right, here we go.
No,
Spread out.
I
Okay,
will spread it out once you put it down there. Ooh, oh my gosh, Mitch. That's
That's more than a grain of rice.
We're good.
Yeah, we're more than good. Sorry about that.
No,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's my fault for asking you to do it.
I'll leave you alone. It's Friday.
No,
It's
listen,
Friday. Steady.
You know
now,
what?
yeah.
This is how you learn. All right. The good news is you didn't get it on any
No.
of the framework because it's a pain to clean up. But what I'm going to do, I've got 5 fingers.
Oh,
Right.
I better go for the close-up. Wait a minute.
Okay. All right. Back to work, Mitch. Viable Solutions says, are there any nice places to visit in Phoenix? Oh, yeah, there's a lot of nice
yeah.
places. I mean, like ice skating rink is a good one to go.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Any of the sports? There's a lot of sports heaven here with baseball, hockey, football,
Yeah.
soccer. What else we got going on
Yeah.
in here? We've got the zoo.
Yeah.
We got 3 different zoos. The World
Yeah.
Wildlife Zoo up north. If you get out of Phoenix, it gets better with Sedona, Jerome.
Yeah, Flagstaff, literally 90 minutes away, the temp drops
Severely.
dramatically.
It's really
So-
small. There's not
yeah.
a lot to do there. It's a college town, Northern
College
Arizona University. But Grand Canyon's just about an hour from
Mm-hmm.
there, is it? By Williams, or you go through Williams. And then there's a cool train, an old school train
Oh, yeah.
will take you. Hold on, we're just getting the back of you here, Mitch. Let me switch over to camera 1. There we go. And then, of course, there's museums, lots of
Yeah.
museums, car shows.
Barrett Jackson in January. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Barrett Jackson. And what's the other one that they do?
Yeah, I forget. So that's more than a pea size. Yeah.
Rick Lakes contributes $5, says it's going to be hot here tomorrow, but not near as hot as you will be. Happy 4th of July, Carey. Hey guys, by the way, happy 4th of July for all
It's
of
more
our
than a grain of rice, but that's long grain rice.
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, you put
Yeah,
a bit
one
much,
of-
but let's just see how it spreads out. I like to spread the thermal compound out. And you see all the extra on there on the finger? I'm just going to use a clean finger. That way it keeps that off. And that's a way to reduce the amount of,
got
if you overdo it, it's not a big deal. I can just keep using the next finger until I reduce the amount that,
Okay.
I just eyeball it. It should be
You want to you don't want to be able to see the writing through.
yeah, I
was
don't
on
want to
there.
cover the entire surface. Some people have faith that if they put a drop and they crush it down,
Won't work. Yeah.
that they're going to have enough coverage. And if they overdo it, it'll leak out the sides. It's a big mess. I don't care how people apply the thermal compound. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. This is how I do it. I'm not asking for anybody's approval, by the way. I have 30 years of experience, and I'm going to allow that to guide me more than what FlyGuy23 on the internet has to say about it.
That's just enough. Okay.
I'm ready. You ready now?
Yeah, 3D. Yeah. Get rid of that. Okay.
So now when we take the glove off, we flip it inside out. And nothing on my hands.
Nothing up my sleeve. No, that's Rocky and Bullwinkle. All right.
So I'm not going to tell you applying the thermal compound my way is superior or better. I'm just saying that's the way I do it,
Okay.
right? And how you do it is your business. All right. Now we can put the heatsink on, but to do that, you see there's a screw under here. That means this fan has to come off because it's in the way. So we just pull on that little wire hanger, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take that fan off. Now, this particular cooler, much like the scythe, is not the same on both sides. Do you notice? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. With some coolers, with the scythe cooler, one screw sticks out further than the other screw. But this one looks like they're both about the same, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
So it looks like you could put it on either way and it's going to be okay. So what I'm going to look for on this, and by the way, this little crossbar, not something that's pre-installed on a Hyper 212 Evo,
Yeah.
which could be a pain in the butt, or the Be Quiet, you have to put this on. The fact that Noctua already has this little crossbar attached is also a little bit, when you buy frozen food, it's you pay extra for it. It's a convenience. So for this little convenience, it's part of what makes this cost more money. It's one less thing you have to do. So since I was about to tell you could only put this on one way, it looks like it'll go on either way, but there is writing on the top here. And I want the writing, so if there was a case window, I want the writing to look like that. I don't want the writing to be upside down.
Gotcha.
It's a very nerdy, stupid thing to point out, but the people, if you find a system builder that cares about stuff like that it's all about having it look good, that's a good system builder in my opinion. That's somebody who cares about little details, and they will do good work for you. If somebody says, it doesn't matter, you put it on here or there, they're right. However, it also shows the care with which, the pride they have and the care they have in building. If it takes just as much effort to take a moment to have all of your words aligned in a way that looks proper, even if you're never going to look at it, there's a sense of satisfaction of saying, I do everyone the same way, and they're all done so that it looks right, for lack of a better word. It just looks right. Now, the reason they give you this long, skinny driver is to get all the way down here to get over this.
Yep.
And you can start these, right? You just get them started. Don't tighten it too much, or the other side will tilt, and then you'll have to put a lot of pressure on it. So when you get both sides started, okay, now they're started, and you should tighten those down by hand, which is what I'm not going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this down a little bit, then I'm going to tighten this one down a little bit, then I'm going to tighten this one down a little bit, and then this one I could probably tighten all the way down now. Yep, and then I'll tighten this one all the way down. Now that's not tight enough. Remember, I keep the torque setting low. These are going to turn until they come to a full stop. That's it. You can now pick the motherboard up by the heatsink. Again, you don't have to worry about an anti-static strap. You can shock the heck out of this all day long. It's not going to hurt nothing. Now we just have our RAM to install, so we'll open all these up. We're going to use the gray sockets right here. We've got our, let's see, Team Elite memory is 16 gigs, 8 gigs each.
DDR4.
DDR4, of course. DDR5 should be coming out soon.
Ah.
Well, it looks like I missed something in the chat room here, Mitch. Somebody contributed $20. Larry Wood. Hey, Larry, thank you for supporting the channel. Looks like you're going to eat tonight, Mitch. Congratulations. You can have toast.
Ah. With tea.
What are we going to have for dinner tonight?
I don't know.
My friend Steve bought a Tesla. He wants to come by after we finish today.
Okay.
He got a Model Y.
Ooh.
$61,000. Anyway, he wants to.
There's a sucker born every minute.
I wish it was me. Wish I was a sucker. I think he ordered this car 6 months ago. It finally got delivered.
200-mile range on a full
He
charge?
bought the extended range,
Oh,
single
good.
rear
Nice.
motor.
Nice.
His parents have a place up at Forest Lakes. So he just drove it up there. He used the supercharger because he didn't have time to charge it. He says when he plugs it into a regular 120 volts, he only gets 4 miles per hour on the charge. When he plugged it into the supercharger in Payson, he was getting 153 miles to the hour on the charge. And it cost him $15.60 for that charge, which was enough to get him up. He charged it to 90%. He said it wasn't good to charge it 100%. And he said something that I've never heard anybody say before, and that is when he puts it in the garage, it heats the just like a fan that keeps the batteries cool. And he said it was 90 degrees at night, but his garage was 104. He says, so if you're going to park your Tesla in your garage, make sure you ventilate your garage because it's going to get hot in there.
And the fan's going to keep...
So it's information like that I've never seen anybody on YouTube reviewing the car talk about that. And maybe somebody has, I just haven't seen that. So having a friend own one, I feel like I'm getting information about the car that's relevant that I would like to know. But yeah, it's got like a heat pump.
Okay.
And the heat pump keeps the batteries cool. Even if the car's parked and it's not even being used, but it's in the sun, it will still turn that heat pump on to cool those batteries down. Any of it, it cost him $15, I think, and 60 cents. And I'm like, well, that sucks. I mean, a tank of gas in the Mustang is, say, 11 gallons. It's about $32, $35. That's not the savings I was expecting.
Right.
And then he says it's got an adapter where you can plug it into the 220 volt of your dryer. A lot of people have a dryer in their garage. He says that'll give him 20 miles per hour. But the supercharger, what a big difference in the length of time it takes to charge. I still want one. I'm trying to get my friend to loan me the car for a month. I said, I'll make your car payment and you'll be out of town. I'll put it in the garage. I'll keep it out of the sun. Let me drive it. And then maybe I won't want one. Or worse.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe I'll want one worse. Yeah. But I thought maybe if I drive it, it's my friend. He can trust me. He can save a car payment. I can save buying a whole car. And maybe I'll get it out of my system. But I don't want the Model Y anyway. I want the Model 3. I will have it.
It will be mine.
It will be mine.
Okay. Oh, does this have tabs on just one side or both sides?
Both, well, you can see they're open here.
Oh, okay.
So we're going on the grays. You'll do see there, I'm lining up with the notch. I've explained that a million times before. Usually I punch down one and then the other, but I'm doing something different today. If you are struggling to put these in, you're doing it wrong. See how easy this is?
Yep.
I've verified they're in their tracks, they're lined up. Then I will use force. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I close the remaining retention levers. That's done. We can plug it in, turn it on, and see if we do our first boot, if it'll pass. So I'll have you go ahead and put the camera back there, Mitch, and we will go back to camera 1.
Without the fan?
Oh,
I'm just a little ahead of yourselves, yeah.
I never get ahead of myself.
Okay.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I want the fan support brackets. This is the side the air's coming out. I want the air to blow out towards all this I/O back here. That's the back of your tower case back here. So I want the air to blow
That way. Yeah,
Oh, I've already switched camera. Hold on, screwed up. Okay, so I want the air to blow, towards you,
Right.
right? So if I put the fan on here, you see how this side of the fan, it spins? Mm-hmm. And you see how this is not spinning in the middle
Right.
when I turn the fan? So this is the side
Exhaust.
the air is coming out of. So all I'm going to do is line this up visually, like this. And you take these little metal brackets, you see it's got a little hook on it. I'll turn this for you. And you just pull on it, and you've got to do both of them. Don't let go of the other side. See the other side? Do I keep switching off the camera? I'm sorry guys, I keep bumping the keyboard. Let's go back to Mitch there. So right here, you see this latch? I did it again.
Get that keyboard out of the way.
Yeah, I'm going to just turn the keyboard off. Oh, and it did it again. All right.
What do you want for your 2 cents?
I know,
All right,
like
okay.
I need a producer here. All right, so anyway, I want this to be as level as I can get it. See, it's on an angle, so let's lower it down a little bit like that. Try and make it level.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pull on this wire where my finger is, pull that back, and it's going to lock into the slots on the heatsink. And then we just take the power cable. That's a 4-pin power cable. It goes onto a 4-pin fan header. It's got a little plastic key on it, so it'll fit only in one direction. Again, no brute force. Once you have it lined up properly, it will slide down easily.
Now we're ready.
Now we can hook a power supply and a power switch, an HDMI cable, and a keyboard and mouse, and do our first power on and
Now we can switch.
make sure that this returned motherboard actually works.
Yeah.
I've got 30 days to return it back to Amazon. Amazon's super easy to return stuff to. So far, every used motherboard I've received from Amazon has worked. I'm hoping to be batting 1,000 here, and we're about to find out. But I'll let Mitch go ahead and put that camera down, and we'll go back to the main camera on purpose this time. You're good. All right, good job, Mitch. Congratulations, well done. You have a career ahead of you
with anything
behind the camera.
Yeah.
It's just a little dig, Elijah Dickens contributes $20. Thank you for supporting the channel, Elijah. 597 people watching live around the world. Happy Friday, everybody. But I couldn't do that twice.
Yeah.
Here. Take that. Take this. Take this stupid blister. Take these instructions. And
circular file.
you know what? Take this too. I don't care. Okay.
What?
Need a power supply.
Yeah, we need a power supply.
I got this Enermax Cyberbron power supply they sent me to review, and so I've been using it as my tester. It's cables on it are a little weird that you have all 4 of these separate cables going to the big motherboard connector. I think that's kind of weird, but it's a budget power supply.
Get over it. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's a bad power supply. It's just maybe a little difficult to cable manage something like that. But if you've got one of those cases that you can kind of tuck it underneath a shroud, who cares? Let's see, that's for a video card. And the cables on these are really super. Look how far these cables go. Yeah. That's a lot of cable management to deal with. Somewhere I have CPU power. Even the CPU power has 2 separate cables, which is just weird.
Okay.
However, again, it's a budget-oriented power supply. So as long as it provides good, clean power and doesn't cause any damage and it's a good price, no reason to not use it.
Is it in the off position?
It is in the off position. We're going to need a power switch. So for that, we have a power switch. Do you know where that goes, Mitch?
I'll tell you where it goes, but this is a family-friendly show. Okay.
It used to be.
This says power switch. System fan. They make the writing so small.
So all of our front panel switches always go in the bottom right corner on a micro ATX or ATX board. You see all the little colors in here? Mm-hmm. And then there's 2 horizontal rows. There's the row closest to you and then the row closest to me. Power switch goes on pins 3 and 4. If we count from your right, if that's pin 1 and that's pin 2, and that goes on pins 3 and 4, and it doesn't matter if you've got negative on positive, it's a switch, so there is no such thing. So just make sure you put see how Mitch is doing this? He's got it horizontally, this way. Don't
put it on the vertical. Yeah.
Don't put it on the vertical.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the HDMI cable in, power supply is in, switch is on. I just need a keyboard and a mouse to plug into it. So I've got those right over here. Here's a dongle. Just USB in the back, anywhere in the back.
I had a senior moment.
You're having those senior moments continuously. I don't think they're moments anymore. I think a moment means momentarily.
And then we must turn this back on.
No,
you
I
have
don't
it
care
off.
about
Okay.
that. It's just for OBS. Or if I want to type something in the chat room, which... All right. Flipping it on. Set this over here.
You want to go to the camera 2 or 3 or...
Let me make sure that I might have unplugged that blue cable. Oh, no, it's still there. Okay.
Very exciting.
Riveting video.
Just, yeah.
Where can you get this kind of excitement?
Just, I'm on pins.
is like-
I'm on pins and needles. Right?
Oh, by the way, you're standing on my pins.
Oh, okay.
Now, we're about to do our test fire. This is where the gambling takes effect now. We're going to start an office pool here. Who here would like to bet against me? After all, I'm a complete idiot. Certainly enough people on the internet have told me so. I have no clue what I'm doing. I have no business being in business. And these parts don't go together, according to some people on the internet. Therefore, if you believe them, this is not going to work. So, place your bets now. Is it going to work? First try without any adjustment? Or did I just waste $800 in parts and 2 hours of your time?
And before we do, Juan the Panda, Carey, you missed my contribution earlier. Scroll back and see if we can see Juan's.
Conleth Byrne contributes 10 pounds and Rick Hubbard with 5 pounds. Thanks, Conrad. Conrad. Thanks, Conleth. And thank you, Rick. Oh, there's, oh no, that's the Elijah Dickens Chevy with a $1 contribution. And somewhere there's Larry Wood, Rick Lakes with $5. We said that one already. I don't, Chris Garrett with $2.
Yeah, we already saw that one.
We saw that one
Did we
too.
miss yours?
Juan the
right,
Panda
there
with
you go.
$5 says, remember the days when you had to risk driving a screwdriver through your motherboard to get the cooler on?
I do indeed, yeah. Zolman. Are they even in business
Johnny
anymore?
Belcher Jr. with $5 says, I came in late, but I like what you're doing with that build. Hey, thank you, Johnny. Make sure Johnny's a moderator in here. Turn Johnny blue. Chris Johnson with $10 says, I'm loving the build so far. Thank you. And then I can't go any further back. So if I didn't get your contribution or if I missed anything you wanted me to see, you could go ahead and repost that now. And
I'll bet with you. That'll fire right up to
You're gonna be on my side?
to the BIOS. Yeah.
all right, well then you're going to eat tonight. Anybody else want to bet against me? Anybody want to bet against me? Jason Ryrick says, why wouldn't it work? Well, because I'm a complete idiot. I'm just going off what random commenters from strangers using fake names on the internet spewing their bile and venom at me have said.
Don't sugarcoat it. All right. So
You're going to do it?
yeah, when you're
Is
ready.
the switch on the power supply?
Oh, didn't you flick it on?
I don't know, did I?
Oh.
That was like 5 minutes ago.
Is it the circle or the
The circle is off, the straight line is on.
straight line's on? Aren't you going to go to camera?
Yeah, I should probably go to the output of the motherboard, which will be this link here. Here's what I'll do. I'll put us like in the corner.
Okay.
About there. Right about here looks good to me. What do you think?
Perfect.
No,
Yeah.
okay, hold on, hold on. There,
All right.
and we'll go up a little bit. You're gonna hit that button?
Are we ready?
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let it go. You can't hold it in. All right. Fan is spinning. Lights on the motherboard have come on here. Now, the first boot could take 90 seconds.
Yeah.
This is nail-bitingly maddening when you think something is wrong and you want to fix it. Don't immediately jump to fix anything. Be patient. It's training the RAM and CPU. It's never recognized these before. There it goes.
That was about 30 seconds.
It wasn't bad.
That wasn't, yeah.
Now, our BIOS version says
F4B.
Full screen. F4B dated, their date? No? All right, so F4B. So let's do this. Why is my...
Because you didn't turn it back on.
Oh.
It's Friday. All right.
So we're going to type in, this is a B460 HD3. Now, each motherboard's model number
Okay.
is unique to the manufacturer, so I don't have to type in gigabyte.
Okay.
Asus, ASRock, no other motherboard manufacturer has a B460 HD3. So when I Google search, I don't have to type in the motherboard maker.
Okay.
And one of the first things that comes up if you use Google as your search engine is the link to gigabyte.com with the support page, well, the information page. And then I'm going to click the support button and scroll to where it says BIOS. And it says there's only been 3 BIOSes, with the latest being F4B. So we have the latest BIOS dated 3/18 of 2021.
Okay.
So it's pretty recent.
Yep.
Now, whether or not the previous owner did that, or that's how the board shipped, or somebody at Amazon did it during testing, I don't care. It doesn't matter. There's nothing to update. We're current. So we can begin to install Windows 10 right now. So I've got Windows 10 21H1 on a flash drive, which I've got a video showing you guys how to make one of these. It's free. It's legal. It's the activation that you got to pay for. And I have links for legit activation keys for Microsoft Windows 10 Pro. I don't think I'm doing Home. I think I'm just doing Pro. And then Office 2016 and Office 2019. And then if you want, like, they have a 2 PC license. It's the same license. You can use it twice.
Okay.
On 2 separate computers. But then there's combos. If you want to buy the Windows 10 and the Office,
You'll get a little discount.
you get a little, it saves you $1 or $2. But these are real, legitimate, legal keys. And I'm personally backing them.
And the links are
Links
below.
in the video notes below. And if you use my links to buy the product, I get credit for that. If you just go to CDK deals and do it on your own, I don't get credit for it. So I appreciate if you guys support the show, because if you don't use my links, then CDK deals doesn't know
Right.
that your results.
That you've got fans. Fans.
Well, just that I have an influence that causes sales.
Yep.
They'll just see a sale. They think they did it.
Okay.
Anyway, it'll save you some money. It is real. If you have a problem with the product key, you contact CDK Deals customer service, and I promise they're going to help you. If they ever don't help you, then you reach out to me, and I will either get you a product key or a refund, whichever one it requires. And I have not had to do that. The few people that have had problems, CDK Deals is 100% taken.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you, if CDK Deals or anybody that I endorse here starts burning people, I will not be endorsing them anymore. Just so you know, there's no risk to you on anything I endorse. There's no risk to you. Cowboy Rowdy contributes $10.
Oh.
Hey, thanks, Cowboy Rowdy.
Make him a moderator.
He already is.
Oh.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. So we've got the flash drive installed. Go ahead and hit the power switch on that for me.
Just one click.
Yeah, just press and release. It should shut down. Now press and release it one more time, and this time when it powers on, every time it powers on, it looks for something to boot from. That NVMe drive we installed, brand new out of the box, has no partition, no format, no
blank,
operating
yeah.
system. The only thing that's got an OS on it is the bootable flash drive, which it's going to automatically find. And you'll see in a moment the little circle. And that's coming off the flash drive because there's nothing else it could come from. That's going to begin our Windows 10 install, and I go through this the same way I have. How many millions of times have I done this?
10.
10 million?
Yeah.
That's at least 1 million more than I saw.
So smoke them if you got them.
You got 'em?
Yeah, later. All right.
So I need to go full screen because I can't see that. It's too small. You viewers at home, nothing changes for you. It's just Mitch and I, we're looking at a window in a window, and it's a little bit difficult. So we're going to use this mouse. You want to do it?
Okay.
Mitch should know how to do this by now.
Next. Now. I don't have a product.
Even when you buy a product key from CDK Deals, still do this process. And then always select Windows 10 Pro.
Doesn't like.
Click the button once, see if it wakes it up.
Doesn't. Oh.
There you go. It's hard with it up here. You want a mouse pad? I think he's struggling because he doesn't have a mouse pad. These are the Carey Holzman mouse pads available at careyholzman.com.
Okay.
You can use them. They have a microfiber cloth. Just clean your screen,
Oh.
and you can wash them like you wash clothes.
Yeah. Which you don't do. All right. So that you just wear them. Yeah.
It's overrated.
Yeah. Dunk.
What do you think they call him Elon Musk for?
Yeah. Dunk. and always do custom. Dunk. There's our
The
drive.
only drive we've got. If
Got
you've got multiple drives, don't hook them all up yet. Just hook up the main drive.
Yeah.
You don't have any confusion over where you want to put Windows. Now, when Mitch clicks next, it's going to automatically partition, format, extract the Windows installation files, and begin the Windows 10 installation. It's that easy.
Yeah.
And watch how fast this Windows 10 installs.
No more little
Floppies?
Yeah.
Insert disk 27. Error reading disk 27. Please start over again at disk 1.
it literally was a half a day, right? To get an operating, at least several hours. I mean, by
Well,
the
it was
time-
only
ding,
pulling
ding, ding, ding.
1.44 meg. Here's this. It would take about maybe a minute per disk.
Disk, yeah.
And then you hit the eject, slide that one out, put the next one in. The
that-
problem is when it had read errors.
Right.
And hopefully you could just make whichever disk was bad or you had spares.
Right.
Because they failed constantly.
Constantly.
And if you got a magnet around them, you'd erase them or corrupt them.
And we're talking the 3.5s, not the old 5 1/4s. Those were
5.5s I thought were quite a bit more reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you could get a hole punch and do the other side, reverse. Mira Ora with a $20 contribution says, Happy 4th, I just got home. We'll have to rewind later to see what I missed. Oh, we were just talking about you.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us. And
Yes.
thank you for the contribution.
Enjoy this holiday weekend.
For sure.
Wherever-
Don't set anything on fire,
Yeah,
though.
wherever
Hey,
you are.
there's,
Rock and Rob.
I'm trying to get Mitch to speak
Yeah.
more.
Howdy, Mitch, Carey, and Blue Crew chat. I bet it works. This should cover it. Ah, it worked.
Yeah, so if
Look
you,
how-
if
look
you
how
bet that
fast
it wasn't going to
it
work,
worked.
pay up.
Yeah, 2 blue moons. All right, so
Hey, there's Jack Wilson with a $25 contribution. Says, hope y'all have a great 2HH of July. Have a great tooth of July.
Okay.
Was it wrong to have a dentist appointment at Tooth Hurdy?
2:30. Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for
Yeah.
your continued support.
Look how fast this loaded up Windows 10
It's nothing,
Pro.
man. It's
Yeah,
damn near
just,
done
you know,
already.
it's just amazing.
Chris Garrett says, I've always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. My niece moved to mid-California. If I was younger, I would fly out to see her and see places like Grand Canyon. I am in Georgia.
I will tell you, is it not one of the 7 wonders of the world, right? The pyramids, the Grand Canyon,
Coral Reefs.
the Acropolis in Greece, I think. So the Grand Canyon's got to be one of the Taj Mahal in India. So the Grand Canyon has to be one of the 7 wonders of the world.
What cracks me up is people, I'm not going to go look at a hole in the ground. This is
It's
not
just-
like
yeah,
any
no,
other hole in
no,
the ground.
no.
Your brain's going to have a
Right,
hard time
right.
processing what you're looking at.
Well, and now, besides looking at it, spend the $40 or whatever and go out on that
they have that walkway.
on that
that's
glass. See, now it turned off and it turned back on again. So
Yeah,
that's
we're
the
not doing anything.
that's the first time.
That's
Carey usually thinks it'll be 2 or 3
It does it
times.
2 reboots, but basically, I count it as 3. The first one where we turn it on.
Right.
And then it does the first reboot. Then we answer some questions.
Okay.
So let me make the screen big again here for Mitchell.
No, you've got to see it once in your life. I
I agree.
It takes your breath
You
away.
can't-
You
pictures
don't have to
and
go.
video-
You don't have to go twice, but
Pictures
you're like,
and video don't do it. You can't
Yeah.
even explain it.
Explain it.
There's often clouds done in there.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to poop on a bird.
Yeah.
It's good to get revenge
U.S.
because they fly down. So,
Skip.
yeah.
I don't have Ethernet.
Internet.
Where are my short eyeballs? Okay. Continue with limited setup. Okay. And now we have to uncheck this name. We'll put
Just put user, put a capital U. The keyboard
this
over there.
Is it typing? I'm not looking.
Yeah, but put a capital U on it.
Oh.
Want it to look proper.
The backs thing. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. There we go.
Perfect.
No password.
No password, just hit next.
And then we turn all these off but location.
I like to leave location on so it'll automatically set the time zone. Because this computer may be shipped to another state.
Is there
That's
any,
good.
any more or no?
Scroll down just to see, but I think that's all there is now since the latest 21H has changed it. And then accept. Not now on Cortana. That's going away, by the way, on Windows.
Yes,
11.
that's what I heard.
It'll be an app you have to launch.
Hi, I wish I was. All right. So
A couple hours.
Yeah, so here we go.
You'll have your blue moon.
Okay.
Maybe is that why it's called blue moon? Because it's high.
Yeah.
Moon is.
Yeah.
All right, so that's running. Back to the chat room now. Let's see. If I was younger, I would drive from Georgia. Cool. Yeah.
I love road trips. A lot of people hate them, and I understand time is money, but I'm kind of with Carey. Is anything to jump in a car and road trip. I don't mind driving. I mean, now with your cruise control and all your stations on your radio or your phone or anything like that.
Spotify,
And
GPS
yeah,
on the phone.
and
Guide you right where you want to go.
on the go. So I'm like,
It's a great way to see the country. It's freedom.
So yeah, you can stop at the world's biggest ball of string and the gator parks and the dinosaur from
On the road trip to Michigan and Missouri, stopped at Uranus. Uranus, Missouri is a fudge factory.
Okay.
I'm not making this up. This is real.
Okay.
Mira Ora with a $5 contribution. Clearly just joined us and missed the beginning of the show to repeat what we've already said, but
Yeah.
I'll read it anyway. Windows 11 is officially a thing now. First Insider build is in the dev channel, and my new CPU has arrived, so I will be able to upgrade later. Well, you don't need a new CPU to run the Windows 11 in the dev channel, as we've already discussed. TPM is not required on the released Windows 11 that you can get through Windows Update. You go to Windows Update, you say you want to be in the, what is it called? The inner circle, the winner?
Yeah.
Window, what's it called?
Dev.
The ring, first ring,
yeah.
second ring. Anyway, whatever.
Do I say
thank you to people like that are willing to
Do I support-
risk their frustration of PCs crashing and the expense of upgrading their CPU so that they can work out all the bugs and do work for Microsoft for free. So 6 months after the final Windows 11 is released, 6 months after it's released, people like that will have suffered so that you and I don't have to. So thank you for being a pioneer. I appreciate that you're willing to sacrifice your money and your time to benefit a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah, I'm not switching. Not
No,
till
you will eventually.
Well, yeah.
Windows 10 is good till, is it October 2025?
25. Yeah.
So there's no hurry. It's not even out yet.
Yeah.
And prepping for something where the standards haven't even been defined.
With any luck, you'll still be alive, old man. All right. So.
With any luck, I won't be.
yeah,
If this is the way the world's going, I won't miss it.
Yeah. Well, there we are on our Windows, ready for updates.
Yeah, so we can. I'm going to plug it into now. I want you to notice I did not plug it into the network. Because if I had plugged this cable into the network, it would force me to create an online Microsoft account. By the way, Windows 11 currently requires you,
I saw that. Yeah.
unless you have Windows 11 Pro.
Right.
But they're saying Windows 11 Home right now, no option to have a local account.
I could have sworn I saw a video showing you it was a lot of clicks in tiny little things to get around that, where I'm
Well,
like,
remember,
oh, that's gonna,
all of this is subject to change. It's still a project in the works. It's not
Beta,
finished, and there may be information we don't have yet, but that's the last I heard. Now, I don't use the home version anyway,
Right.
but it's information that's...
There's Frankie B.
Hey,
He's in the
Frankie
chat.
B.
Have a great and safe 4th. I'm actually, Frankie, I'm thinking on Sunday, which is the 4th, getting up, not at 5:20 when the sun rises, but getting out the door by about 6 a.m. It's been, I think, about 3 weeks since I fired up my motorcycle.
Oh.
Since I got back, and just too warm during the day, and usually go from 6 to 8 or 8:30, something like that, just to kind of recharge the battery and get the oil moving in it again. So I might take a little run out to Bartlett Lake or something like that. So skip for now.
On Turo, there's a website, turo.com, where you can... People rent out their cars, like you do Airbnb with your house. And there's a car, it's like a motorcycle car thing. It's called a...
3 wheels?
yeah, it's 3 wheels. It's 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Is it called a Spider? I know the name of this. 3-wheeled... This thing here. What's this called? Polaris slingshot,
Oh,
but I think you got to wear a helmet. But
yeah.
you can rent these on Turo for like $60 a day.
It's cute. Yeah,
I would love to take a
like it.
drive.
Well, let's do it there, Chuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw in $10.
Let me,
you know.
let me show everybody what we're talking about.
Okay.
That should be a way to turn on my screen capture.
Maybe not.
No, I gotta click the right button here. Should be that one. You see this? I mean, a lot of people in Arizona, they drive in these trucks and SUVs,
Yeah.
and I just don't want to be run over and squished. But
I don't want to do it in summer.
And I don't
when
want
it's
to do it in
the summer,
summertime.
but in the fall, let's do
I
it.
think you got to wear a helmet. It
Oh, I'm
looks like
sure.
a lot
I'm
of
sure
fun.
you have to. I'm
And
sure
this
you
is a
have to.
perfect Turo type of thing because I don't
Right.
want to own this. I
No,
just want to
try it. Yeah,
I just want to have a nice,
yeah.
maybe
it'd be fun.
weekend drive up north.
October, November. Let's
yeah,
do it. Let's
not,
do
not
it.
when it's too cold.
No.
But is that a cool looking car?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody will know. I would think, yes, you probably have to wear a helmet, but I wouldn't think because it's two in the one and it has a car feel, even though it looks much worse than a convertible, of course. But maybe they would not require, because that is considered a vehicle, not a motorcycle. That's some sort of an automobile that you would not have to. I would like it a lot better if we don't have to wear helmets. I mean, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I don't think you want bugs in your teeth though.
Well, yeah.
Frankie B contributed $50. Hey, Frankie, thank you for that. Frankie says in Britain they've got the Reliant Robin, but the Reliant Robin had the single wheel in the front and two wheels in the back.
Right,
So anytime you turned, it flipped the car over if you went just a bit too fast.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to put the one tire in the back.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the flipping issue.
And then when I'm riding my motorcycle, I do see the ones where it's, the tire in the front, the single, and then the two in the back that almost look as wide as car tires.
Yeah.
Very, very stable. But the guy tells me the turn-in's a bit
Yeah. No, it's
but,
much better to have their
two
wheels in the front.
Yeah.
Mira Ora contributes $5, says, hey, I'm not doing the insider thing. Remember I was saying, hey, good for you for being the pioneer.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that Windows Insider thing. I'm just preparing for the stable release later when Microsoft releases it, because I'm going from a Ryzen 7 1700 to a 3700X on the same motherboard. Well, that's assuming Microsoft doesn't change the processor requirements, right? That may be a completely unnecessary upgrade if that's the reason why he's doing it.
Yep.
I hope you have other reasons besides that, because it's too early to know what the requirements will be. We can't control Microsoft. If enough people complain, they do generally
Listen.
reluctantly conform to that. So until the final product is released, to prepare for something that hasn't been defined, to me, as a waste of money and anxiety and concern. You're here. I feel like everybody's always thinking about tomorrow, or they're thinking about yesterday, and very few people are actually in the present. So my suggestion is, if you had other reasons to upgrade, great. But if that's your reason, then I would think that's a very foolish reason, because it's way too early to know what the requirements are.
So remember, the past is history, the future a mystery. So
And yesterday,
so
today was
is
yesterday's tomorrow.
Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Huh? That's pretty good. It's an old saying that I just made up. All right. So how are we
I feel
doing?
like there's an unwrapping joke.
Yeah. How are we doing on?
I don't know.
on
I don't know.
No.
Let's take a look. I'm sorry, guys. Mitch and I have to tell you, we're looking at a window in a window. We don't get to see what you see. We're looking at so much more information. So I have to go out of my way to make the one window full screen.
So they can still see us, but they can't see
Right.
this.
No, they can see.
See this, and then we're in the corner.
Yeah. Only now we can see the.
Right.
So even though it says restart now, I'm going to wait
Right.
for it to finish this stuff here. But anyway, let's take a look down here. Tim says the system is going to be for my brother who's going to be doing graphic design. Thank you. Any recommendations for a 4 gig video card? Whatever you can get, right?
Yeah. Hence,
I can't recommend it other than whatever is if
Hence-
there's something available, that's what I recommend.
yeah. And good luck with that hen's teeth. Yeah, graphics cards, you don't want to overpay. Yeah, can you get one? Yes. Are you going to pay, 2 and 3 times what it's worth? No. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
Jacob Smith's asking about TPM. There is no current TPM requirement on Windows 11 that's released on the Windows Insider. There's no CPU limit, as far as I know, and there's no TPM requirement. That's why I'm telling you, the leaked build had that. And Microsoft has said that they intend to enforce that. And yet they released the Insider build without enforcing that. So right now, if you get the legit Windows 11, not the one people that are illegally downloading, but you get the one from Windows Update you select to be on the Windows Insider program, it will not require TPM. And every motherboard built since 2013 has TPM firmware built into it, so you don't have to buy the TPM card. Anybody who buys a TPM card right now, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. As soon as Microsoft announced that they have the intention of requiring TPM, every TPM module was bought up by scalpers, and an $11 or $15 TPM module sells as much as $175 on eBay right now. So a fool and their money are soon parted. Unless you have a very specific requirement for TPM, do not buy one for Windows 11. You already have one in your computer, and we will talk about that. And if you don't want to wait for me to talk about that in the future when it becomes relevant, there are plenty of other sources online that will show you how to do it. Both AMD and Intel already have TPM built in. It's built into the chip. Every CPU since I think 2013 has TPM built in. So you just have to turn it on. You don't need the add-on card. It's like if you want a RAID array, you don't have to buy an add-on RAID card. You have RAID software in most BIOSes. Same with TPM. It's exactly the same. And it doesn't matter because the current legal version that you can download does not require it. I don't know why we're talking about this.
So
Because
Chad,
it's not a thing.
So Chad, are you ready? Because in this segment, it's time for corny joke of the day.
Oh boy. I like this.
Okay,
My favorite part of the show.
let's see.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just take a look at something here. We're still waiting. So while we're waiting, hold on. Let's do this. Let's go to. Is that camera still on? Oh, what a mess!
Oh
that
yeah,
is.
don't show him that.
Yeah, it's a mess. All right, we got to get the corny camera.
Oh,
Here we go.
okay. Let me think. All right. What was it like to live during the Stone Age?
Well, you would know
It was hard.
because it's a stone.
Yeah, because it's a stone.
But
I'll give you one more good one. How come?
how about just one good one?
Yeah, one good one. Okay. How come all the women complain that they can't find a man who's caring, sensitive, and good looking?
I don't know, Mitch. How come every woman complains that they can't find a man who's caring, sensitive, and good looking?
Because they all have boyfriends.
But they already have boyfriends.
I thank you. All right.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see if I've got one.
Okay.
Give me a subject. Give me any subject.
Computers. All right. That'll be easy. No. All right.
Computers. No, I can't tell that one. No, I can't tell that one either. This was not a good idea.
Okay. All right.
Wait a minute.
Leave the joke to the professional here. All right.
Somebody said you sound like an owl.
Who?
Ah!
Okay. Okay. All right. We can get off the close-up now. Yeah. It's very.
Could you put it on camera one for me? Did I teach you how to do that? Wrong mouse.
Okay. Camera one, eyeball. Gotcha. You got to get the tongue action in there. Wait, camera one, that one. Bye-bye.
No, that one's on.
Oh, okay.
So you got to turn wireless off because
Oh, yeah,
wireless
gotcha.
is above it.
Yeah.
Now you've just turned off camera one.
Oh, so now what do I
Turn
do?
camera one
One
back on. Now turn wireless off.
Just like that. Okay. Who says it takes
Here,
brains?
will you
to
hold
run
this
shit?
for me?
Yeah. Well, it's still downloading. You get that where it hits 74% and it takes a while. Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one
In the
takes-
meantime, I'll warm my hands.
Well, it's not that bad. is
No.
it? That's cooler than room temperature. I
Okay.
didn't even know that
Yeah.
was possible.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim Elliott left you a joke. Let's make Tim blue for this joke because
Okay.
that's a Mitch joke.
Okay.
Okay, turn it blue. Go ahead, Mitch.
You know they opened a restaurant on the moon. The food is great, but no atmosphere. That's pretty good. We got to get that sound effect. Yeah.
Steve says you do have to wear a helmet on that bike.
Oh,
Bike,
okay.
Bike.
Yeah. Maybe just in his state though, because remember,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
because in
But
Arizona,
I did see people the other day.
okay, because
riding-
in Arizona you don't need a helmet to ride your motorcycle.
Well, I did see people with a helmet on it today.
Okay. Well, they were scared.
Yesterday. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it is Phoenix. They have a right to be. They
Yeah,
should be.
yeah, but it makes no sense that you would require a helmet in that. Yet I can ride
But
I can ride my motorcycle without one. So
And you can ride in the back of a pickup truck with that.
yeah.
Mark Hunter with a $5 contribution.
Hey, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Mark's already a moderator.
Hey, has anybody seen? Not to change the subject. Carey and I were talking about Fast and Furious 9.
Oh, that looks so terrible.
9. Has anyone there in chat
Is it out?
spent their money to see it? Because yeah, the trailer I kind of went, yeah, and I have all of them on Blu-ray, and so
I'm going to see this movie, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so over the top. The laws of physics are almost cartoonish.
right,
And it would be one thing if they did it once. If they do it again and again and again, where it's like, well, that can't happen. Well, that's not how gravity works.
Yeah.
That's not how physics works. If it was a cartoon or like a CGI animated Pixar movie, it'd be kind of funny. But it's live action and they're being serious,
yep.
and the scenes don't make any sense.
I think I will go see Black Widow though when that comes out July.
So what is Black Widow's
19th.
special power? Tight pants?
I
understand.
don't know. I don't know. She sure can run fast. That's for sure.
Yeah,
but
well, so could I. When people are chasing you.
right, right.
I don't know what her...
Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah.
It kind of
But,
did not.
Captain Marvel, I tried to watch that. I couldn't. I know it's just so bad. And I tried to watch... Everybody says the Wakanda. What's that movie? Black Panther? He says how good it is. And I'm just like,
That one would
I
be
had a
worth a
hard
second
time-
chance. Yeah. I mean,
I probably should try it again.
Again.
And then Aquaman, it was so stupid.
That
It was
one,
like,
yeah,
oh my God.
left
And
me
Wonder
co-
Woman
left me
was-
cold,
Both Wonder Woman were so bad.
yeah.
If you guys want some fun about these bad movies, type in on YouTube, search pitch meeting, and then a movie. Pitch meeting for Back to the Future, pitch meeting for Cruella, pitch meeting for,
It's all done by the same guy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
this guy. And if you wonder when I'm going super easy, barely an inconvenience, or I'm like, I don't know, I'm stealing that from that. It's an homage
Homage. Yeah.
to
Big word. All right.
to that. I can't think of his name. He's very good.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't give to watch how he makes that. Like, does he shoot against somebody who's saying the other line?
That must be in the comments. So saying, why don't you make one? And he probably says, I'm not gonna, because then the illusion will be ruined.
But I want to
if
know
I
how
show-
he does
Right.
it.
Right.
And which one does he start with?
Yeah.
Because I imagine
'Cause he
he's
plays
got to
both
change
parts, yeah,
clothes,
clothes,
right?
absolutely.
So I imagine he's got to do all the lines and the reactions, and then all the lines and the reactions,
Action.
and then piece it together in editing. So the question is he playing against somebody else to get the timing right, or is he doing it line by line and just manually editing it? And then how many times does he do it before he looks at how many takes to decide
Because-
which one has the right reaction?
Because if you have somebody else deliver the lines,
the reaction is more natural.
right, but then you're going to have to mimic how they say the lines, right? When
No.
you do their part.
No, doesn't matter how they say the lines.
Lines.
Like when Darth Vader, the David
Yeah.
Prowse played the guy in the costume.
Right.
And when he talks, it's a completely different voice. That's all overdubbed.
Dubbed
You wouldn't know.
by
It doesn't matter how he says it.
yeah.
So I think he's got somebody else there to read lines back to him off camera,
Right. So he
Right.
gets the reactions. Yeah.
and they're not mic'd up.
No. And he's got a
But I don't know. Like, I'm imagining that's how.
and then he's got a dot where he is reacting to because that's where then he's sitting in that chair at that position later. So
Yeah, sometimes his reaction is just nodding his head, or
Okay.
sometimes the guy explains something so preposterous he just goes, wow, 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 wow. Sometimes he plays a third character who walks in the room, and he doesn't do anything to disguise his face. It's just different clothes. It's hilarious, and the guy's massively talented.
How are we doing now? Like you said, that's so tiny. Well,
Yeah, I got to make a hotkey for this.
that.
Oh, it's all ready. We're good. We can restart. All right. Yeah, that Fast 9 looks so terrible. I
Yeah.
tried to watch Hobbs and Shaw, and then as soon as Idris Elba's motorcycle summons itself to him, I'm like,
right.
is this supposed to be
Yeah.
Riddick?
Yeah.
Like, is this supposed to be
Yeah,
taking
a
place
goof
in the
or-
future? What is this? I don't know
Yeah.
what this is. And then I turn it off because I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be watching.
Right.
I'm used to, like, if it's James Bond, it's supposed to be believable that he could do that.
Yeah.
Even if he has a Lotus that goes into the water, you give it a little bit.
Bend a little, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's just constant disbelief after the other, okay, if it's sci-fi, or it's supposed to be over the top ridiculous like a Mel Brooks film,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell, they're being serious. And they're trying to be realistic, but the thing, and if they just had like one over-the-top stunt
Yeah.
that defies gravity and physics, but they do it over and over and over, it's like he just thinks, what's the most ridiculous thing we could do? We'll drive on a bridge as it's collapsing behind us. Okay, that's how cartoons work. That's not how gravity and bridges work.
Yeah.
And that's just one.
Matt Powers,
I got to be in the right frame of mind.
Right. Matt Power says, I will run Windows 10 until it's not supported.
Windows 11 is just Windows 10. It's
Yeah.
really not.
So. Okay, we'll see how many updates we got left.
It's amazing how many updates there are, considering that 21H1 just came out. Got any big plans this weekend?
No, I mean, fire up the motorcycle, at least for an hour, 90 minutes, warm it up.
The supposed motorcycle he's got and the supposed house that he has.
Carey's never seen.
As far as I know, he lives in a refrigerator box at the end of the street. I don't really know where he comes from. He's
Not that
probably
I, not
living in the
that I
basement of his
haven't.
mother's house.
It's an open invitation.
Yeah.
That I've
It's
always
been
said.
an open invitation.
So.
Just some reason or another, not available today. Maybe
Yeah.
another time.
Yeah. So the screening room. So I said anytime.
screening room.
Anytime.
The screening room's like a
2 folding chairs and a bed sheet.
in a low budget
no,
Walmart
the entire
flat screen TV that's
the entire
32
screen.
inches.
The entire screening room is painted flat black, ceiling, all the walls, the movie theater seats.
how big is the screen?
120 inches diagonally
Ah.
with a rear projector.
Pshaw! How
No.
big is my projector in there? Is it bigger than yours?
No. So
You don't think that's at least
yeah, it
140
is.
inches?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because that's on.
And can you see a picture difference if that wall was black versus white?
Well, yeah, but
I
I have a screen that's gray.
Oh, it's
to get the optimic when the rear projector shines on it. It's so everyone thinks, well, it's a white screen. No, it's not white. It's not even off white. It's kind of a light gray. So when the image from the rear projecting goes on it, it pops.
I don't think it's supposed to
gray.
make that sound.
No.
I've been hearing people saying black is the ideal color for the screen. And I think the reason for that is if you're watching sci-fi, then the darks are darker.
Yeah. 1080p. I don't have a 4K.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference anyway. And my nephew can. I can't.
It
I
almost.
tested him, and he says like even 720 to 1080, especially if it's The Simpsons or American Dad or animation,
Yeah.
I cannot tell 720 from 1080.
And in the stores, when they have the players going on the 4K TVs, I don't know. I told my buddy, it kind of looks fake to me. I mean, it's almost too sharp. And I'm like, 1080p for films, it looks great to me, whether it's film or whether they did shoot it on video. I'm like,
What do you guys think?
You know,
do you think 4K is worth it? Because I've downloaded some 4K video, well, not download. I've watched some 4K videos on YouTube just to see the 4K.
Yeah.
YouTube's compressing the crap out of it.
Right.
Netflix is compressing the bit rates down,
Right.
so it's like, apart from the picture being physically larger,
Yeah.
like
Now-
there's some drone shots of Detroit shot in 4K,
Yeah.
but if they were shot in 1080, I can't see the difference. It's
Now,
crisp. It's clean.
yeah.
it
Now the
looks-
players aren't expensive. I mean, you can get a Sony or Samsung the 4K player for maybe $300, $350. So the player itself is not. But for me to get a rear projector, again, that's 4K compatible.
a couple grand.
Yeah, and
Well, they have those short throw laser 4K projectors. about
yeah, but then it would be on
2,000.
the floor.
Yeah, but then it's only like 7 inches from the wall. You don't have to hang it from the ceiling.
Yeah, but the screen's already mounted there, so I'm
How
like,
long have you had that?
15 years.
Yeah, that's the problem. So this technology didn't exist 15 years ago, and you've already designed the room around an older technology. So to swap it for the more modern technology means you have to reset up the room again.
Well,
That's why
I-
people
yeah.
don't understand that.
Well,
People
and
don't-
I, as much as I would love Dolby Atmos, which are in the ceiling,
yeah.
I'm like, then yeah, guys have to cut the holes and run that to the speakers, and they gotta cover them up, and I gotta repaint it back to.
No,
the-
you do all that.
no,
Pay somebody.
no.
What
I'll
about
ha-
those THX
I'll
computer
have the-
speakers? Those would be okay in a small screening room.
Yeah,
They're THX certified.
I could have my Butler sledgehammer.
Frankie B, another $50 contribution.
Hey.
Right on, Frankie. He says, here's a little something for both Uncle Carey and Brother Mitch. Well, you're going to eat well tonight.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll step you up to actual meat.
yeah, Wendy's. Yeah,
Five Guys. We
Yeah.
could close that scale out a Five Guys meal.
yeah.
Kind of expensive.
What haven't we? I mean, I did like what was it? The burger and fries place that we went to there in
Hop
Tatum.
Daddy. Yeah, I don't know.
But we did the wings last week, so
I ate all those wings too.
um,
I was hungry. Those were good.
yeah. Have you had Grimaldi's? I mean, in a while. I hate to go all the way to the pizza place that's not North Scottsdale, Scottsdale and Shea, that you took me
El
to.
Bosco.
I mean, that I got to tell you, that was good eating pizza. I mean,
I'm glad you agree. It's really good, but it's a real small.
Yeah, and I don't want
And it's
to.
hot.
I don't want to sit outdoors, and if it gets too busy, so.
But it's so delicious.
And then you didn't.
They opened an artichoke pizza. Artichoke pizza's famous in New York City.
Okay.
And I was driving to one of my clients out there in Tempe, and I don't know how long it's been there, but I just noticed it. And I said, "Oh, that's interesting. They just stole that name from that famous New York place." And then I looked it up. Well, they didn't
Right.
steal it. It is the New York place expanding,
No.
and it just happens to be across the street from one of my clients.
Oh, nice.
So I think they're open till 10 p.m. And I'm like, the next time I go there after hours, I need to leave a little earlier
Right.
because it's the big New York slices. I don't care for artichoke.
Yep.
But that's the name of the place.
Yep.
And they have a margarita pizza that looks
Yep.
bellissima.
And Chad, as I told Chad, I think last week, sometime in September or October, I would prefer September. I'm going to go to the Big Apple, New York, for a couple of weeks and run around and do some stand-up open mics. That's kind of always been on my
I
bucket
want to
list.
go there. I want to
And
heckle you.
so, so anybody, a couple of weeks out before I go, I certainly will reach out to chat going, look, anybody from there who've been there, go ahead and, put restaurants that you would recommend on Manhattan, because that's where I'll be staying. And I certainly,
I'm sure there'll be no shortage.
yeah, I'll certainly write it down.
Any kind of restaurant you prefer?
Well, the one from When Harry Met Sally for the beautiful,
I'll have what she's
the
having.
beautiful pastrami sandwich and their matzo ball
Well, do you
soup.
want to
I
go
mean,
to,
and you got Little Italy, of course. I gotta visit that, and Chinatown.
Carnegie Deli?
Yeah, that's it. I think so. Because
Lou Greeny has pointed a link to a great article that comes to 4K and the human eye. It's techspot.com. It's a reputable site. We used to have an expert on TVs come on. We did the radio program, and he was talking about the limits of the human eye, and the size of the screen matters in order to see certain resolutions. Now they've got 8K TVs. Now Cox Cable, our television provider here, doesn't even offer 4K. So who are these TVs for? Let alone the 8K. We don't even have 4K content except from like Netflix and YouTube. And like I said, they compress the bit rate down so much. What's the point? So I don't know that I've ever truly seen a 4K image other than the demos that run in the stores. And that's kind of hard
Yeah.
to tell.
Yeah. And Chad, I still have, they quit making them, but there's a company called Oppo, OPPO, and they used to make Blu-ray players, very high end, and I still have mine, and it still works great. And of course, it'll upscale standard DVDs to make them look better, but the digital to audio converter, the DAC in there is great. And so I think that ran about, wow, about $600.
What's that say?
That says, open your $100 gifts from Jose E. Rivera Astacio.
Jose, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
the generous gift.
Thank you. Now maybe I can.
And now there's a coupon for Papa John's.
Now maybe I can have steak tonight.
Well,
Very tender, cut an inch above the hoof. What was it?
Robert Connors says, I hope you enjoy this Amazon gift card. Keep up the good work. By the way, I finally upgraded from Win 10 Home to Win 10 Pro, but I had to purchase it from the Microsoft store. $100 Amazon gift card. Thank you so much. You know, I don't know why are you upgrading from Home to Pro? I keep asking people why they're doing this because I think it's a waste of money. But then, you know, you gave me $100. I mean, he gave
Yeah.
Someone might argue that's a waste of money too.
I will, not to interrupt, I will tell you that Stormtrooper, another one, Peter B. Laycock.
Peter Laycock sent a couple $100 on PayPal. What a great Friday today has been. Man, we need more Fridays. Thank you guys so much for the PayPal
and
support.
to tell you, the Stormtrooper,
Stormtrooper.
that I'm going to have you fix the audio.
Yeah.
I just have Windows Home, Windows 10 Home, good enough for me.
I'm trying
on
to
that,
figure
yeah.
out what people are getting Pro for.
Yeah, so,
I don't know.
mean, is that thing still installing? Yeah, I guess it is. I can read that. You can't, but I can. And you have your glasses on.
My glasses. I
Glasses.
can't see without
Come
my
on,
glasses. I can't see so good.
Well, this turned out to
Look at
be
these.
not a,
I saw these old guys at this place, and I took the.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's
Yeah,
me.
you better show them. Go ahead up to the camera and show them. Yeah.
You've never met these guys, have
No,
you?
no.
This is the guy with the Tesla.
Okay, well, they won't mind. Here, I'll step away so it'll focus.
I'll tell you what. Let me go full screen on camera 1. Wrong mouse. No, that is the right.
While I grab a couple of Reese's Pieces. All right.
The
There's
phone
a free
home.
plug.
All right. So, my friend, you'll see my friend Ron Hillier in the chat room.
Okay.
And Ron is the gentleman on the right with the mustache. Well, I guess there's two guys with a mustache. So, this one here, right? That one there is me, in case you didn't know. This is my friend Steve. Steve, I met when I was 12 years old when my family first moved to Phoenix, and met him in 7th grade.
Reform school.
And this is Ron Hillier. I met Ron when I was 15 because I'm such a nerd. I used to hang out at the Radio Shack to use the computers because I couldn't afford to buy one.
Right.
And then I got a job at Radio Shack. And Ron and Steve know each other, but see, Ron's been in Illinois for like 15 or 20 years. Steve's an over-the-road trucker.
Okay.
So it was just coincidence that, well, Ron's moved back to Phoenix. He's been here like a month. I haven't had time to see him.
Okay.
So I finally was able to get all three of us together. And
You add up their
And I was
ages.
like-
You add
I
up
was
their
like-
ages, and that's a lot. That's a lot of numbers.
I was like, who are these old guys? Yeah, like, who are these old guys?
Yeah. So the guy behind you is the guy bringing a Tesla.
Yeah, he
Here
got his
after the show,
Tesla
yeah.
Model Y. He wants to show it off. And
Okay.
I want to see it. Yeah.
Let's see. I'll be curious to see how that air conditioning works.
Should be fine.
Running off batteries, if you say so.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I test drove a Model 3 and a Model S.
Oh, did you?
and
Yeah,
They were
okay.
great.
Okay.
I don't know that I did it in the peak of summer.
Well,
Mira Ora says, if you want a larger version of that picture, you can find it on Carey's Facebook page. Also, I have a Twitter page if you want more information about Windows 11 and TPM. I'm putting articles from magazines that I find interesting. I'm putting those links on Twitter.
Okay.
So you can follow me on Twitter. It's free. And you can follow me on Facebook. There's still room for more friends there. And are you on Facebook?
I am, yeah.
And Mitch is on IMDb. He's a real actor.
Actor, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
And-
IMDb, Internet Movie Database. You just type in Mitch Morrison, and
There's
my
some
profile
clips.
comes. There's some clips of my acting, and so
It's the real deal, folks.
yes, I enjoy it. Yeah, I like it.
Where are we at on this?
There you go.
I was ready for me to restart. Let's restart it. All right, we'll go back to camera 1 again. Are you going to film the Tesla? I don't think I'm going to. It's just a Model Y.
Yeah,
Just take
I
a
mean,
look
yeah,
at a metallic gray Model Y.
Right.
It looks
There's
just
got to
like
be
that.
some on YouTube too.
There's nothing unusual. But
Right.
He didn't like customize it or anything.
And in this heat, the camera will catch on fire.
Nah.
Poof.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll melt. Michael Dane just gave away his 60th computer
The man.
for another family who's in need for the upcoming school year.
Phew.
Boy, he just makes me look lazy. I still have 3 veterans giveaway computers I've had here for 12 months. I haven't
Now it
got-
just shut off,
yeah, and that's
doing its thing, rebooting.
3 minutes. Let's see. John Williams says, I just sent you some cash on PayPal. When people say that, I think that's a clue for me to
Oh.
check it while they're online and give them a shout out. You've got money, $20. Thank you, John. We appreciate that very much.
Happy Friday to you. Now I won't have to donate plasma tomorrow. Carey can actually pay me. Things are looking up.
I can,
okay,
but I won't.
But I won't. Okay.
Armando Garcia gives us $5. He's talking to Peter Laycock. He says, it worked great. Thank you for the tip. The protein shake came right off. Now let's see if I can revive it. Great job, guys. Great content. What was he and Peter Laycock talking about? I love it when my community members
Chat among
are friends.
Yeah. Chat
That
among
they wouldn't have
themselves.
met each other anyplace else but this community. And they're not fighting. They're helping each other. It's so...
Is that John Williams, the composer? No, who did the Star Wars?
One can hope.
Who
Did the Star Wars.
Yeah, the Star Wars.
And the
whose-
Jaws.
Whose
and
son?
the E.T.
Yeah,
and the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And the Superman.
and
the
whose son is Joseph Williams, the lead singer of Uncle Mitch's favorite band, Toto. Which, by the way, you better go to Amazon and get their newest concert and CD live.
or Mitch is going to come over to your house and break your knees.
Toto with a little help from my friends. It's
John Williams, the conductor, has a son who's the lead singer in the band Toto.
correct, Joseph Williams. That's his dad. Yeah,
How disappointed is his dad?
his dad's very proud. You know, and he
John Williams says he will not listen to the radio because he doesn't want any influence when he's creating music. He doesn't want to have George Harrison got in trouble for that with My Sweet Lord versus He's So
and
Fine.
Chat, let us know. John Williams, he's got to be 90, I would think.
He just lives in a regular house like in
Yeah,
Pasadena. People-
Joseph Williams is my age, 29. So, yeah, the composer, I'll bet he's at least 90. Yeah, I don't know whether he'll do Spielberg's next film or not.
I'm trying to see where he was talking with Peter Laycock, what that discussion was. I mean, we
On
had something
shakes,
about
protein shake?
shake, and I don't see, how long does it take people to respond to somebody? How long ago was that original? Because it's not there. This is why you should mind your own business. I don't know. This is between those two guys.
Okay.
There's no direct messaging in chat, unfortunately. So.
Well, what next? I think we're done. What do you think?
No, we're not done because there's still the Intel driver updater. There's
Oh.
still the
Uncle Carey's
Windows optimizer. Make sure storage sense is turned on. Let me just log in.
Yeah.
Let me just check it. But we're going almost 4 o'clock here, so we like to wrap it up by 5. We'll probably wrap it up a little early today. Jeff Ryman says, Doug Bett's channel also has a good kind of interaction in the chat. Yeah, if you want a greater likelihood of getting the creator's attention, Doug's channel's still in its infancy, and so you're more so the downside of getting the channel more popular is it gets overwhelming with the number of people who want your attention. So if you get to a channel while it's young before it grows, It's a great opportunity to interact, and the creator appreciates you so much more because you're not just another name and 100. Like, we've got how many people watching?
He's trying to,
We've got 518 people watching. He might have 18 people watching. But
and-
he's going to have 518 people watching.
Yeah, he and
will.
or she, they've got to build it. Joseph Williams is 89, according to Wikipedia. Well, I was close.
Joe Williams? Not John Williams.
Or John Williams. John Williams, yeah.
So say,
Yeah.
How old's your dad?
94.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I was watching Louis Black, the comedian, said his dad was 101, recently passed away. His mom just had a birthday. She is now 101. He says, quinoa has never touched her lips. Like, all this health food, everybody's drinking it. He's like, we don't know anything about health. My parents didn't eat any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And then he says, he asked his mom, he asked his dad, what have you learned in this life? You're 101. And he just said, people shouldn't live this long.
Yeah. So, Chad, my father, of course, as I said, he's 94 years old. So obviously, there's longevity in my family. So what I'm
Get
hoping,
used to him.
So what I'm hoping is that I die on my 90th birthday, and my wife is so sad that she has to drop out of college. What do you think of that?
It's weird for a 100-year-old woman to
Yeah.
be in
Okay.
college, though, isn't it?
Okay.
And good for her to
Yeah.
stay in school.
Yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
late,
So, yeah.
late bloomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke,
Elijah
son. You missed
Dickens.
it. All right. All right.
He says, he says, my brother said, give Dad a kiss for me. Not on his lips. And he said, Dad, brother just texted me this. He said he wants me to kiss you, but not on the lips. And without missing a beat, my dad says, well, then where did he want you to kiss me? And he goes, I just let that slide.
Slide. Yeah.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
At 101, still.
Sharp as a bowling ball. All right. So attack. I mean.
So Elijah Dickens with a $20 contribution. Thank you, Elijah. You want to read that one?
Armando Garcia with $5. And we will holler. Carey, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but Peter helped me get a protein shake off of a laptop motherboard that came in for repair before the live. Oh, now.
Yeah, the protein shakes are not good for laptops.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't eat around my MacBook Air. I don't have.
He's cut off.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I don't have any drinks around that. Cost too much.
I would.
Monet.
Bring it over here. I'll drink it.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'll put it in the fish tank.
I'm really not liking it. I mean, between you and me,
It's not just between you and me. We have 580
Okay.
people in there.
I either need a Chromebook or I got to go back to a Windows.
Why don't you get a
laptop.
Dell XPS?
Yeah.
Join the.
Every time I put Google Chrome on it, and then something doodad or something happens, poof, it disappears, and then I got to reload it. I'm like, with Windows, it just works. I'm used to it. I know what I'm doing. But I got my brother's girlfriend. Oh, you got to get a Mac. You got to get a Mac laptop. You need a new laptop. Don't get
Why are you
another
listening
Windows.
to her? Is
So
she providing it to you?
So
Is she offering you support when there's problems?
I caved, and I ran up to the Costco there in Eagle, Colorado, and I plunked down my.
When did you do this?
My
Before
1,200.
you met me?
Yeah, my $1,200
If it was
bucks.
before you met me, I forget. Because you didn't know any better.
Right. No, last Thanksgiving, I plunked
Wait,
down
you knew
my,
me last Thanksgiving.
plunked
Get out
down
of
my
my house, you traitor.
plunked down my 1,200 beans, and it's okay, but it's just, I just don't feel, I feel lost using it. I'm like, what did I even buy this for?
So
Like,
look,
yeah.
if you get used to something,
Yeah.
Like, let me put it this way: if you meet somebody from Australia, and you offer them, many of them, Vegemite, they'll be like, oh,
No.
would you like some?
No.
Have you smelled?
Yeah.
It's like moldy fish paste. I don't know what it is. But apparently if you grew up eating that and you're used to it, you acquire a taste for it. And I think Mac is an acquired taste.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
In much the same way a Rolls Royce is a lifestyle choice.
Yes. Well, I'll have Carey because once travel, international travel, whether that's November or December, I've been waiting, 2 years to do another trip. I would rather not take the Mac.
What did you take last time?
Laptop. I took a the laptop Windows where the keys weren't working, and you gave me the keyboard and the mouse.
Keyboard.
Yeah,
I gave you a little kit like
right,
this,
like
right?
that. Yeah, and but that thing died. So I'm thinking,
When did it die?
would it?
This is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah. So would
Here,
it
stand over here a little
for travel? Would it be better for just a Chromebook? Because basically, it'll be surfing the web looking for other hotels to
What
stay
about a
at.
tablet?
They're so small, and I got
You
bad,
want the keyboard.
I got bad eyes. I don't mean even the, and like you said, some of the new laptops are 2-in-1. I just want something where the screen's big enough that I can surf for my hotel rooms and my airfares
What about
from
that
A
little
to B.
Azul thing? Plug it into the hotel TV, or you want it more portable?
Yeah, because remember, I only have a 40-liter backpack is all I take with me, and that does have a laptop
I use a
sleeve.
safe weight grocery bag.
So yeah. So Chad, what do you think? I'd rather not take a laptop, to be honest, because a good one is gonna it's gonna be $800. I mean, a good
You have to use
laptop.
it once.
And so, to me,
bit
if it gets stolen out of my hotel room, a Chromebook at $300, yeah, am I going to be disappointed? Yeah, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. That Mac gets stolen, I'm gonna go ballistic on
Yeah.
that. That thing gets lifted in a hotel room, so it's like. And I have a tablet. Yeah, I've got a.
Like if you had an iPad, I could understand, but to have a MacBook,
Yeah, it's silver.
it's so offensive.
It's international. Everyone knows that that's money, and I can't. When I stay in a hotel, it's for 2 or 3 or 4 nights in a row. So I don't. When I go out for the day, looking around, I don't put it back in my bag, which I can lock. I just leave it on the desk. And you got maids coming and going and cleaning, and they do
Yeah, you
have
never know.
they do have hotel safes, but so I'm like, maybe just a Chromebook to take with me. But even those can start getting up in price $400 or $500
You
for
can
a
get them
for a
refurbished pretty cheap.
Chromebook.
Amazon warehouse, you can pick up.
So I'm like, yeah, maybe just
You
a
could
three.
just do a digital detox and enjoy being disconnected for a
Yeah, but
while.
I don't like to make plans, meaning I don't know where I'm going next from like one town.
You can
and
use your phone for that.
and then the screen's too small. So
But you just got problems.
I do, yeah. So.
Well, what's the chat got? Maybe somebody in the chat.
So just a Chromebook, I'm thinking, versus a laptop. I mean, I hate to buy another laptop because I got a $1,200 MacBook Air, but and I only use that when I go to my brother's. I never use a laptop except when I'm on the traveling. Then you got to have a laptop or a tablet or something. But I'm like, to just carry with me for my 2 months that I'm going to be out in the world.
Here's
Singapore, how about just a Chromebook? Something that I can get on the web in the hotel.
I got my old Sony laptop. I could refurbish it. and-
It's heavy though, right?
No, it's a thin, super thin.
Oh,
I don't use it anymore.
So
It's just collecting dust.
is it thin?
Super thin.
Oh,
It's my previous laptop.
15-inch screen or 12-inch or
It's a
15?
15 or
Well, that's a nice.
13.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of
The,
dust on it.
yeah, the little Mac has got just a 13-inch screen, which would I prefer? I don't need to carry a 17, but a 15 to me seems to be the middle ground between too small and too obscene at 17. So that's the name of a song. No? So I'm thinking, well, again, if you dust her off, I certainly. It's better than going out and even $300 for a Chromebook.
Yeah, I should see if I can get the latest Windows 10 on it.
I-
I haven't fired it up in over a year. It's just sitting on a desk.
Well, there's a show right there. Let's bring it out and dust it.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring to me, but
Oh,
we
okay.
get totally.
Yeah.
This is riveting, by the way.
Yeah, this is just, get a used laptop, Mitch Patrick says.
Frankie
Yeah.
Boy says, Carey, when I was in Brisbane, Australia, I tasted that Vegemite. It was crap. Worst thing I ever tasted. You got to grow up with it, though.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's like a peanut butter sandwich. I'm like,
Yeah.
the hell it is. Get a used laptop, Mitch. You can get off-lease business laptops like Lenovo's.
Yeah.
Really good deal.
Yeah. Again, as long as they're light, because with your pack, even though you can carry that on the plane, they still, when you go to the airport, they still make you set it on the weigh machine. And, you know, if you're over, I'm going for 2 months. You can't, what am I going to take out of it? So it's minimal clothes. That's the only thing that's to keep me connected to the world. So I would rather take out less clothes than, you know, that laptop. So it's all about the weight. Not that I'm, you know, trekking around with that thing on my back. It's just from the airport to a cab to the hotel, then you set it in your room. But one bag travel, that's what I'm all about. So.
Well, there's a suggestion from Rick Zabo. He says, check with Acer's recertified laptops. They're around $200. He says he's got one. He loves it. Acer does make a good laptop.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a good suggestion.
Yeah. Is it heavy?
Well, I suppose they have different models you can pick from. I don't think there's just one.
Yeah, because the one, again, that I took to Thailand, was very, like you said, just super thin. It's just some of the keys, not all of them, but some of them didn't work. So that's when Carey said, well, take this. And I actually took it in the box
That's right.
that you came with. So then I had my backpack had a laptop sleeve, and then I put the box, and I just, all through the trip, I would take it out at the hotel, and then I would leave it when I went out for the day, because to be honest, I didn't care if, you know, not any of the maids. I tip heavy, so they love me. So none of the maids. But
Just your big bucks.
yeah,
You
but
got that YouTube money from
yeah, from
flexing.
Yeah, but I would leave it open, not turned on, but I would leave it when I would go out for the day, wandering around, because I'm like, they're not going to take it because it's 4 or 5 years. They're going to see that it's not worth anything. It's just an older laptop. So that's a good idea, either refurbished or a Chromebook. You know, I like that.
I don't think you're going to be happy with the Chromebook. Now,
No.
Matt said his girlfriend has Azul and she loves it. But you have two Azuls. You've got the Azul 3 and the Azul 4. We never published the review of the Azul 4 because we were still pretty early on here in Studio B. And the audio is horrible.
Horrible.
I still might publish it, but I know I'm going to get grief. People are going to be like, man, this audio is just terrible.
We could loop
And
it
they
all.
won't
We could loop it all 30
Oh,
minutes.
yeah, we're going to talk. We're going to lip
They
sync,
just sing for all 30 minutes.
re-say everything we said.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I only say like 4 words in the whole
Right.
thing.
But I like them. I like them. It's a niche product, but for me,
It's a Mitch product?
yeah. But for me in the screening room, if I want to surf the web, I mean, not that I do much, but it's perfect. I mean, I like that product.
So I'm installing the Intel driver system. I already got a short quick tips video
On that.
on this, and this is just kind of a standard routine I go through when I set up Windows 10 for myself or my customers. And that's why I'm not repeating all the things I've already repeated, and instead listening to you, having our conversation, and doing this at the same time. Multitasking.
Rick
He says it's not heavy.
It's a Chromebook.
Oh, it's a Chromebook. Chromebook 11. And it's a 15-inch.
Rick, can you tell me price-wise? I mean, was it 300, 350?
He said it was $200.
Oh, okay.
iPad 3 14-inch laptops are nice.
Okay.
And let's see what else. Rick Lakes mentions a 15-inch laptop. Michael Dane said he had a Samsung Tab S5e he would have given to you a few weeks back.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need, like, if that can go to a family in need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which lives in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I mean, their drinking fountains require $1.
Yeah. So
The Perrier comes out of those
that's
things.
that out of the tabs. Yeah.
We'll get Mitch set up with something.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you have suggestions,
Yeah.
we'd certainly love any out of the box. Any, what's an out of the box thinking?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
And again, you know, I have my vaccination card, but I'm not going to any country that says you're welcome to come in, but you must stay 7 days in a hotel and then we'll let you run around. I'm not doing it. When they say you can come,
what's the point?
show your card and come on in, like I told Carey, whether that's November, December, January. Typically I go in the summer because I like getting out of the Phoenix heat for 2 months. July and August is kind of the the thing that I was doing with the Thailand for a month in July, but it's been, 15, 18 months, and it ruined last summer, right? Because that when did that start? March. Of 19 or March of 20.
March of 20.
20. So yeah, all of last year.
February is when it sort of.
Yeah, so that killed last summer where I was all getting ready to go, and I'm,
Did you get both your shots?
I did, yeah.
I got my shot.
Yep.
I gotta wait 4
Yeah.
weeks.
And then you'll have another
Can I cough on you?
you'll have another Jameson. Yeah, all right. Oh, not that kind of shot. Okay.
Fireball.
So, okay. So,
Moderna Fireball.
yeah. So I keep my eye on that, and as soon as, again, I, want to go Phoenix or LA to Hong Kong.
You never made a video from Colorado. You were supposed to make a video.
I did, but it didn't turn out as kind of good as I liked. So,
Then you didn't.
deleted. I know, I should.
Anybody could say I
yeah,
did, it didn't
yeah,
turn out. When in fact
yeah.
you just didn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
I think I'm over here busting my butt, covering for you while you're gone la-di-da, gallivanting around the country like got a care in the world. I'm over here sweating under the heat, filling in for you,
Yeah.
walking uphill both ways.
Please.
And all you have to do is send me a little video. It says, "Hey, everybody, it's Mitch. I'm in Colorado.
Eagle,
Good to see everybody."
Colorado. Yeah, how's it going?
And he couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and enjoy your vacation.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
That's today's guilt lesson for the day. All
Can you
right.
tell I was raised with a Jewish mother?
Yeah. So
I learned from the best.
now that installed, does that typically have to reboot when you do
We've
those?
already rebooted several times. I'm downloading the Intel. For the Intel driver updater, it said there's a new Intel video driver available. And you always want those, especially when there's a Windows update. That
Okay.
when people blame Windows updates, a lot of times it's an old driver that if they would have updated that first, they wouldn't have had any problems. But did we get this thing? Yeah, we got it. Now we can install it. It's a big 500 meg download, so it takes a while on a slower internet connection. And then the install actually takes a little bit too because it's a big driver. And we're using the video driver where we're trying to install a video driver,
Okay.
which is like trying to change a tire on a car you're driving. So it will require a reboot, and it may even try to install it a second time, which I will allow it to do. But if it tries to install it a third time, right back here, I would hit cancel.
Didn't you do a video on that?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
You'll see it kind of, the first time you install this driver, it like takes forever.
Yeah.
And when we reboot, it'll probably ask me to do it again, and it'll go through the whole thing real fast. And you'll see the screen blank off and blank on again.
Right.
That tells me the driver. So that's why I do the second one. But if it comes up a third time on the next reboot, I hit cancel, and it says, "Are you sure?" And I go, "Yes," and then it's finished. And then the Intel driver and support assistant should say there's no more available updates. And then we'll watch the system tray right down here. You see there's a red dot.
Yep.
That should be green. And it'll turn red the next time there's an update, but it'll gently nudge you. It won't,
Right.
scare you and tell you the sky is falling and you better do this right. It's just nice to know, right? And anytime a customer gets a system from me, I make sure that everything's done for them. That's latest driver updates, all the temp files are removed that the Windows installs create, and Windows is activated, and you get those Windows and Office software keys. I mentioned that enough times. I've done all the research for this. They're all real, and I 100% personally back them up. Same goes with anything else. RoboForm, when you buy something on Amazon, if you're using Amazon Prime, if it's being sold by Amazon and not a third party, Amazon's customer service is awesome. And what's the other one I'm promoting? Oh, My Computer Works.
Yeah. If you
For
need
tech support,
if you need tech support,
or you know somebody who needs tech support and they're always bothering you, send them over to My Computer Works. It's under $40 a month. All you can eat tech
yeah,
support.
call them as much as you want.
Yep.
They're polite, been in business
Patient.
over 16 years.
Look at you go.
Boom.
But they're the real deal.
yeah.
And I don't know of any competitor to them.
Right.
So, and Luke, the CEO, is a super guy, and he
Yeah.
doesn't claim to be a tech, which is great. He
And
hires the
if
tech.
you want to see him, the president of the company, watch the video. Carey interviewed him. Great guy. Boom. There's
He
your
says-
technical support.
8-year build. Will my Hyper 212 cool well enough? Well, what CPU are you using? Is it this one? Like a Hyper 212 will work on the 10th gen chip, you know, especially if it's an i5. When you go to i7, as long as you're not pushing it hard all the time,
Right.
probably be fine. But I would spend, so a Hyper 212 is $30, the scythe is $50, I'd buy the scythe, the Mugen 5.
Right.
For $50, $20 more. But if you want to move if you've got the Hyper 212, you're trying to save money, it will cool it. But if you push it hard, the harder and longer you push it, the harder it's going to be for the Hyper 212 to keep it cool. And if it doesn't keep it cool, it's just going to throttle. It's not going to burn anything up or damage anything.
And this is whisper quiet, and we
Oh,
don't
we
even,
can't even-
we don't even have it in a case, and I can't
Well,
hear.
but we're not pushing it either.
No, but
Yeah, that's true. It is
it's
very
it's just quiet.
But the scythe is whisper quiet as well. Where were we on this?
No, I replace chat between you and me. All my computer builds with Carey or that I've done, I replace all fans, whether they're case fans.
This is interesting.
With Noctua. Okay, is this
So
one?
this happens because Windows Update was probably trying to install the same driver in
gotcha.
the background. So when this happens, don't freak out. We're going to refresh the page, scanning the system. Still says there's a driver update available. So it'll try and well, it's already downloaded. We just hit install again. Hopefully the other install that was happening in the background is done now.
Okay.
We'll go through this process again.
That's take two, as we say in the
This is what happens when you're impatient. Like me,
biz,
you're just pushing through updates. When if I'd have just plugged it in and walked away,
Yep.
it would have done all that. Watch, this will probably be faster now. Yeah, see it blank out?
Yep.
Fast. Now we'll reboot. Let's see how long this thing takes.
And then it won't prompt. It won't.
It might.
One more time, or no? You don't.
Sometimes with the Intel driver updater, it gets stuck
Okay.
with the video driver. Only with the video driver. I'm not sure why. And I don't really care because it's such an easy, stupid thing. But you'll see it. We'll go right into Windows. It's going to start filling in that lower system tray down here. I like to put malware bytes on here too for my customers. You see, I put VLC on there for my customers. And then once it's done loading this, we'll see if the, just give it a second.
Yeah. See if that
That
pops up.
install
Yeah.
wants to start. You'll see there's a green dot there instead of red, right? So there's no more driver updates available for us. So far, nothing's happening, but it can take a little bit. So while we're waiting, we don't have to sit here. We can move on to the next thing, which for me is taking out unwanted apps.
Gotcha.
So here's what I like to remove. I don't want Groove Music. VLC is why it will replace
Gotcha.
music player, MP3s, or waves, or whatever your audio files are. I do not want this mixed reality portal. It's a waste of time. Movies and TV. So again, VLC replaces movies.
Right.
This is not a copy of Office. This is to sell you Office. I take that out to avoid confusion. Skype customers can install that if they want it. Not everybody wants it. By the time you go to use it, it'll be an update anyway.
Well, people use Zoom.
Xbox, I take that out. Xbox Game Bar cannot be removed. Xbox Live we can take out. Your phone is pretty handy. That allows you, and you can't uninstall it, but that allows you to pair your phone to your computer. So if there's like taking pictures on your phone, you don't have to plug your phone into a USB cable. Your phone will, you go to My Computer or the yellow folder, and your phone will appear down here. And you can transfer your photos, and you don't have to hook anything up. It's pretty convenient. And sometimes I'll take thumbnail shots and other photos with my phone, and then I email them to myself. There's a slight delay. Well, now you can just instantly transfer. So it's a little convenient. That's pretty much it. Everything else can stay.
Okay.
Just taking another look. If you see games like Candy Crush or Spotify sometimes is in there, those are just little apps. They're very tiny and they're super easy to take out. And you don't have to go to the apps and features control panel. You can just go to your start menu. And let's say this was, Candy Crush, right click on it and choose uninstall. It's the same thing, right? Before you used to delete that stuff and it only deleted the icon. It left the program. But uninstall is the same as uninstall. That's pretty much.
It didn't.
I turned these notifications. This drives me crazy because customers don't know what all this is. So first I clear them, then I go down here and I start typing notification on keyboard. I start typing notification, and then right there it says turn app notifications on or off. I push enter, and then I just turn this to off, and then that prevents the customer calling me. Those are the changes I make for my clients. And then when I'm done with these apps, I delete them. There's no reason for the customer to run them again. These Uncle Carey's tools are available. They're apps I develop for my business that I offer to you guys. Very, very inexpensive. My partnership with Nick Shaw over at D7X Tech, he develops them, and it's my conception.
And then you did the one for the AMD
The
chipset or something. I really like that one.
Oh, that thing's been wonderful.
Yeah. So
But again, only for AMD.
right, only for AMD.
But there you go. That's pretty much what I do with a new build. Those are the configuration changes I typically make.
There you go.
And if I try to get a sponsorship with Malwarebytes, they don't return my emails. I've had a tumultuous relationship with Malwarebytes. I think they might still be sore about it, or they just don't know who I am. One or the other. They can't be bothered. And I still recommend the product. I'm just not going to sit here and endorse it unless I'm not going to send you to give you their money if they're not going to share that.
I got up this morning and on my monitor it said there was a new update. So I mean, I updated it.
Yeah, it's important
yeah.
you get those Malwarebytes updates. They're critical for security reasons.
So
And it's like $30 a year, but I don't want to send people over there without getting some credit.
right.
You know, I deserve,
Yeah.
if I'm helping Malwarebytes, they should show a little love.
Yep.
Now, I can go to Commission Junction and just do the standard Malwarebytes deal, and maybe I'll do that. But I would much prefer if Malwarebytes acknowledged me personally and made a special offer that not everybody can just go to Commission Junction and get, and said, hey, for your viewers, for a limited time, we'll do this or that. So I'm not done harassing them. Sometimes you gotta,
Yep. Poke the bear.
yeah, you gotta say, hey, I'm talking to you. And sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I meant to get back to you and I forgot, whatever. Just talk to me because I like your product. Sometimes you have a good company with bad people that makes a good product. Sometimes you have a company with good people that sells a bad product.
Yeah.
So the combo is to find a good company with good people that make a good product, like RoboForm or My Computer Works, or even the CDK deals. These are good people. These companies have been around for years. They're not fly-by-night. Everything's on the up and up. And, you know, it has to be for me to personally guarantee it.
Now, are you going to pound this Prime 95 or nah? I mean, you know, and what's the graphics thing again with the?
I won't do the 3D
with the
mark,
balloon,
but
you know.
I know this is going to run Prime
Yeah.
95 fine. I might
yeah.
run it later, but
But-
it's, again, in the likelihood of anybody even pushing this computer,
Yeah.
it's not going to a person like that.
Right.
I don't even want to support people like that. So, like that could put me out of business if I have too many customers that are that difficult to please. It wouldn't hurt me to test it though, just to make sure the seat sync is seated properly and everything's running like it should. I fully expect this to pass easily.
And you say right now getting motherboards is pretty tough. I
Yeah.
mean, it's getting real tough. Not graphics card tough, but close. I mean, where
Well,
it's,
let's take a look. Let's see if we can bring up the browser and we'll go there.
yeah, we gotta rent that in the fall. We just gotta rent that. We're gonna film it with my GoPro, so we'll film it.
Hey, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it's a great idea.
The slingshot?
So, yeah. So
Let's see if we can do a screen share. Here we go. So here's, oh, that's out today, The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt on Amazon Prime. It looks like it might be a good movie. All right, let's take a look and type in, let's see, so the board we've got here is a B460 HD3. So that's a bit pricey. Notice it's not Amazon Prime. So
Right.
this is a third-party seller. Wait, look at this one's only $86.99. Now this is the M, the micro ATI. That M means it's a little smaller.
okay.
Count the number of slots it has here. Not memory slots. It's got the same 4
Right.
slots. It's got, click on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a much shorter board,
Yeah.
but it does have the connectors on the end
It's not
for
many,
HDMI,
Yeah.
VGA, or DVI for backwards compatibility.
not many
But
USBs.
Not many USBs. But if that's all you need,
Yeah,
Right, you got two USB 2s.
2 3s. I don't know what that below is.
This
It's blocked
looks
out.
like just one.
Okay.
It should be in pairs. I don't know what's going on down
there.
there. Then 2 more, and then you'll have a header on the board for USB 3. So that's 2 on the front of the case, and then probably headers on the board for USB 2. But you don't have to pick gigabyte. Like if we just type in B460, we can pull up a bunch of other motherboards. Here's a B460M. Again, the M means micro ATI. That's what we were just looking at. Here's an Asus board. It's 115. I like to be in that price range.
I don't.
I prefer about 110.
Okay, when I'm building, whether it's full tower or mids, my budget typically for a board is between 2 and 3.
You spend that much?
Yeah.
Well, here's the ROG Strix B460i gaming Wi-Fi with built-in Wi-Fi, RGB header with Aura Sync, 260. Look at the reviews, 221 reviews.
Can you do the photo of it? I'm curious what the shield looks like, the IO shield, like what it's got on it.
It's built in. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay, we got a display port, HDMI, 4, 3.2 gen, a USB Type-C, which is always welcome. 2 more, so a total of 6.
And you've got this audio Type-C.
Yeah, what is that
I
for?
don't
To be
know.
honest, I don't know.
It's
but,
audio
yeah.
only, though. You can't just plug in USB Type-C in there. It's
No toes link, but I mean.
I haven't had any use to, like, I've been curious about it, but I haven't needed it. But then I don't really know what it does.
And again, I don't need a channel, I just, it's a desktop.
Wi-Fi 6 though, with Bluetooth.
Okay.
It's a little pricey though.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to do an 8-year build, I'm trying to keep that price down. So I want that $100 range. Like here's a B460. Well, again, it's an M. So those micro boards are a little less expensive. These mortar boards aren't bad, but you're at 175. It's a little much. So yeah, the shortage on the boards isn't bad.
It looks to me like you can still get some.
But maybe if you go like a 490, let's do a Z490.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, that's got water channels
Yeah.
for liquid cooling on the chipset. That's ridiculous.
162,
240.
240.
These are all pricey. 169. Hey, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah.
That is. Let's see what kind of ports we have. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. It's ugly. Why isn't it black? So your 2 USB 2s, and you still have a PS2 slot there. 2 USB 3s, HDMI. But see, some of my customers still have VGA or DVI monitors.
Yeah.
And this would upset them, even though we just get an adapter.
Right. But
But that should be black. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a bad picture.
about 170. Okay.
That's a
more
full-size
size
ATX board. You know, 250 on this one. That's the Elite AC. I've used this board.
Oh, have you? Yeah, 490.
490 gaming. And now I think they've got, is the 590 out? I think it is. I haven't built one of those yet. I should order one just to see. Ooh, pricey.
That's a bit much, yeah.
Why is it so much money? Here, $188. See, that's why I keep going back to Gigabyte. It's like,
Right.
you can just get better value. Cover for your M.2. And what do we have on the end here? More or less the same. It's DisplayPort, no HDMI at all. Oh, that sucks. But again, an $8 HDMI adapter. But these are intended for gamers. You wouldn't really want a Z series chipset in an office.
Right.
Unless it was a deal, you know? I can't see why you'd go through all the trouble.
Okay.
And the micro ATX boards, again, you still have room to put a graphics card in there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to really save money, you do the B365 with a 9th gen. Look at $70. $70, and look what you get. You've got your VGA, your DVI, you got 6 USBs back there, plus the 2 USBs on the front of the case.
Full HDMI, yeah.
Now, you don't have a whole lot of audio here. It looks like
No.
it's not 7 channels surround.
No.
But again, in an office or a home
they
for
just,
most people,
they just want stereo.
and you can slap any 9th gen chip in this. Like if we look at the B365M DS3H, B365. Remember I said these model numbers are all this different between manufacturers. I don't have to type them in. DS3H. Is that what I did? Yeah, it's a mouthful. Let's search that. And first link on Google search is gigabyte.com. Bring that up. We don't want the support up here. We want support down here. And we want CPU support. You don't have to ask, oh, does this board support? Look, just look, it tells you.
Right.
Chances are, if you've got a 9th gen Intel chip, it's supported here. Even goes back to Celeron G series, Pentium G series. So let's say, for example, like I wouldn't put a Core i3 in this. But you see this Core i5-8400? Watch this. Wait, are we still seeing the screen? Yeah. So Core i5-8300. Let's go back to Amazon. Core i5-8400. How much do you think this chip is?
Oh, 100.
It's about $200.
200.
Right? And if you want a really cheap, like a Core i3, shoot, what was the model on that? Let's see. I'm going to assume at the very bottom is the cheapest. Let's see how much this is.
Do they even still sell it?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know why anybody would want it. Somebody out there wants it for something. Sold out. Used and new from 119. So you've got that plus a $70 board. Just throw 8 gigs of RAM on it. You can build a system under $400.
Yeah.
$40 power supply. Now it's not going to be a rocket ship, but it will be reliable.
Yeah, surfing the web.
Probably be still better than anything you could buy at that price, pre-built for sure.
Yeah.
Fully upgradable and quiet, and you don't have to buy a cooler. It comes with a cooler.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go. Let's see if we can flip that off. Don't flip it off.
Okay.
And this is done for now. So we're
Okay.
just, if we tap the power button on this, like if I, wait, don't do it yet. If I switch over, well here, let's just make us a little smaller. And it looked like it went to sleep. Okay, now just tap that power button, press and release, and it'll cycle it off just like we went to the start menu. See how fast it went off?
Yep. And that board is ready to be put in a case. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. It's we like to wrap it up by 5. Sometimes we go over, so it's nice once in a while to go a little early.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so
So
much.
much. I don't think we can go back and give shout outs to the chat for contributions because like Carey said, it chops them off now. Only the last 4 or 5, unfortunately. But
for everybody who's contributed, you know, special thanks, of course, to those super generous contributors, Peter Laycock and Tony Wallow and
and the people
Jose.
that sent Amazon gift cards. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, and that. In fact, we can give those because they're in email. I could go through those one more time, but where did it go? $20 came in from
$2.
John Williams.
$2 from Katrina, Ireland.
Right on. Thank you,
Thank you.
Katrina. And $100 from Jose Rivera Estacio. And Robert Connors, thank you for the Amazon gift card. Peter Laycock, thank you. Thank you to, where did it go? Here it is. Thank you to Michael Smith. This is a different Mike, not Mike Smith, but Michael Smith. Thank you, Michael. And my thanks to Planet Cryos for the continuing to do those edits. He's got more coming. I've got the Munch Pack 2 review I had to do without you.
I saw that.
I suffered.
I saw that when I was up there in Colorado. I'm like,
For you.
Yeah, glad I wasn't
There was
here.
nobody there to help me.
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah.
eat
So-
this weird junk food.
Yeah.
It was. I'm still not sleeping well.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hey, you all have a happy and safe 4th of July, I must say very confidently we live in the greatest country in the world. And
If we only had healthcare.
yeah, and I'm proud to be an American. Isn't that a country western song? So think of your Uncle Mitch riding his bike just for an hour, maybe an hour and a half before it gets too hot. The muffler on my leg, you know, even with pants on, it gets a bit warm at stoplights. I'm like,
Take your pants off.
yeah,
Easy.
yeah, okay.
I was thinking the other country song, I'm so miserable without you. It's almost like having you here.
Oh, okay.
My friends in the chat room, thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for hanging out, being a friend, and for being kind, and for being a part of this amazing community that we're creating. And I love that I can now limit the interaction to subscribers only,
Yeah.
because look how much that's
Right.
helped. You know,
Right.
Sherry McFarland, thank you for your continued
Yep.
the thumbnails that she makes for us.
Yep.
John Paul Bacon, shout out to him, and Kazison, and some people I've missed without reason. Just your names weren't in front of me when I was speaking. Bryce Hosking. I'm just trying to find some names I didn't shout out earlier. Edwin Ojeda and Paul Baxter and G. Wyzen, who watches us in Michigan, in West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Okay.
Was bragging about his 70-degree weather.
Yep.
Raven 4K, I think, should be blue here. As I think I will turn Mountain King Kid blue as well. We'll add a couple blue.
Just squeaked
On the way out.
just squeaked in on the way out.
Thank
so.
you guys. Michael
Yeah.
Dane, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Rock and Rob, and all my other friends, our other friends.
Friends.
Nate, the Shocker, and Matthew Camp. Thank you guys again. Mort Mott, Jason Wyrick. We're going to wrap it up for today.
Okay.
You will be back here, same time, same channel,
Next
Friday at 1.
and we'll figure out another weird build or
If the
something.
whole valley doesn't burn down.
Something to do, and
I've got some stuff.
yeah. And Carey always tries to go live when he can during the week, depending on his business schedule. But he'll certainly let you know about that. And
Yeah, I will be live during the week. I just
Yeah,
don't know what
when-
days yet. But as time permits, be sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and turn on notifications, because when you turn on the notifications,
There it is.
it can send you an alert when I'm live, or anytime I post new content, like if Planet Cryo
Correct.
submits a new edit. And then, of course, if you enjoyed this content, you can let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And
let's get out of here. Mm-hmm.
it's time to eat.
Yeah, eat.
Time to see my friend's Tesla.
Yeah,
Let's get some food in it and drop the food.
in his brand new car. Yeah,
It's funny when it's not your car.
right.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all again very, very soon.
Until then, bye for now.